Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
The next year of gaming and electronic entertainment is about to be revealed as we are less than 24 hours from the keynotes by all our favorite gaming companies. All about impending AAA titles, new accessories, and future Steam sale fodder. All this, Listless, and more coming up on the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio. We are live with our 555th episode. That's right, episode 555. For this June the 8th of 2014, on the eve of Video Game Christmas, as a lot of people refer to it. That's right, the Electronic Entertainment Expo E3 kicks off. Technically, the expo starts Tuesday, but all the conferences and some of the early meetings are starting tomorrow. Microsoft kicking things off at 9 a.m., but we're kicking off E3 in our own way tonight. My name is Rob Robertson. Joining me in studio, as always, say hello to the one and only Dark Sakura, or Jamie Summers.
Hi.
How are you, Jamie Summers?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's new with you? Anything new and exciting in the world of Jamie? You just been working a lot at the, I always want to say lolcat, but it's lowcat. Lowcat.
I'll tell you why I didn't go with lolcat.
Okay.
Because lolcats already exist in Homestuck. It's the land of little cups and tea. Mm-hmm. I work at the land. Hey.
Jason and a mic, or we can't hear it.
Yeah. The Homestucks get it. Anyway, so that's why I went with lowcat, the land of cubes and tech.
Yeah, that works. It's a good way to kind of, have the anonymity so people don't necessarily know your employer and all that good stuff. So,
except that now I know more and more people that work there, and apparently people I work with know friends of mine. Like one of my coworkers games with Becky's husband.
That's random.
And another of my coworkers who I play D&D with knows Travis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have coworkers that know people that I used to do Rocky Horror with back at the Birdcage, so that's always something.
He knows Travis from a cast before the one that you were in.
That's old school.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's old school.
Wasn't that like the one right before Understation?
Yep, Absent Friends, 95 or so in Sacramento.
So, yeah. And I was just there going, the moment he mentions the name, because he mentioned names of people I don't know all the time, is like, I know him. You do? Yeah.
So lots and lots of networking, IRL, and of course at the E3 Expo this week, lots of networking there. We are going to miss you, Dark Sakura. I understand that work takes precedence because you did just start that job not that long ago, so you can't exactly take a week off. But you'll be missed.
Well, I'm actually kind of glad I'm not going.
Yeah, why's that? Just
because with as busy as I've been and a little tired and on edge, it means I don't have to be around massive groups of people and double my medication.
Yeah, I actually can understand that because I was talking about this at the end of Bobby's show, but I've been just really exhausted too, and I know some people see E3 as a vacation. Don't get me wrong, I'm very fortunate to go. I'm very happy to go. I realize I'm lucky. A lot of people would give a lot to be able to go to the show, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, it's not just like tee-hee, fun, cosplay, play games, it's some serious, you got to run from place to place. You do these meetings. You have all these, kind of serious things going on. It is work.
I know.
It's fun work.
I managed to cute my way into tons of the press kits we weren't supposed to have the few years I did.
Yeah, you were so good at that.
And then hanging out with my buddy Krista, who worked for LucasArts at the time, and going into the Q&As with her. Yeah. Because she's just like, oh, she's with me. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. That's how I got to play Pop Lacrosse at first. And they were like, you know what the hell this game is? I was like, yeah. And thanks to Loki here, I now have the game and have played through it.
There you go.
But I don't know. As long as one or a few of us are going, I don't feel bad about not going. It's honestly, it's a little too much for me.
That's a good way to look at it. Are you going to try and play the at-home game? A lot of people doing the couch
I'm actually
stuff?
not.
You're just going to kind of come absorb everything next week at the show, or you know, bits and pieces here and there?
I may watch a thing here and there, but my plan for the week is work.
I have a hard time believing if they pop out a new Mass Effect trailer, you won't be doing 90 miles an hour on the way home to go watch it.
At that point, I say, bitch, please. This is me we're talking about. I mean, of course I'm going to see stuff I'm going to get excited about, but honestly, I've decided that the week is actually going to be spent on myself because with my new schedule, I'm working closing shift, so I work 11:30 to 8:30 now, that means I can actually get up in the morning and go back to the gym instead of doing it after work when I'm dead tired.
That's what I did last year. I did kind of the home game, and I'm using my quotey fingers, covered E3 from home, but that just basically mean I supported Bobby and all that and with what he was doing. I did end up driving down there later in the week, and we did the Disney 3 thing, but earlier in the week, I just kind of hung out, and it was a great kind of charge the batteries. So I think you'll have a good week.
Yeah.
You get all the good stuff on next week's show.
But hey, you got to play an Ouya.
All right, Techmaster Loki always has something to say. I did get to play Ouya last year
was it as disappointing as owning an Ouya?
I didn't walk away from the Ouya experience last year with the heap amount of negativity that you have for it now. Granted, it wasn't out yet. I was seeing demos of some games that were probably the better games that were on the system.
And also, to be fair, there are a lot of games now I think are more polished than they were when I had it.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. And there's still, there's still stuff that they're cranking out as well. So, they're still trucking along doing their thing, and it's still a very low cost alternative to get some of this other stuff. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, the experience last year was kind of, funny in that regard that I actually picked Bobby up at the expo because you can. I don't know if they like people knowing this, but you can go in the LA Convention Center is practically a public place. You can walk in; it's very easy. You just can't get past the line to go to the hall. You can't actually get in the hall but you can look through the window and see everything that's going on and do all that. And there's some stuff that's on the outside, and the Ouya was in the parking lot last year. So.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying you should all go down to the convention center and make it more crowded than it already is, but the fact of the matter it is in the heart of downtown LA. It's next door to the Staples Center. There's a lot of activity down there.
Street passes.
I'm gonna finish all these puzzles this week, and that's one of the most exciting things about E3. Honestly, is finishing these fucking puzzles on my DS because a new one pops up every other day. It feels like. So I'm excited.
I'm going to be totally watching everything. I've been watching everything.
All right. Going to our chat room before I introduce our fourth in-studio co-host tonight. Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com because, of course, we do tape live at the Voice of Geeks Network, vognetwork.com, right after the Bobby Blackwolf show on Sunday nights. 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern is the time to be here. And let's see. I'm looking. Brad from Pod Culture starting us off saying, Ouya isn't that bad. They just had bad timing. It is actually a neat little bit of kit. And then let's see. Dungeon Buster says all the Mass Effects in our chat room. I'm sure there's a lot of people hyped for that. EA, if there is a new Mass Effect trailer, Dark Soccer, it's going to hit tomorrow. You could possibly be 24 hours less than away from Garrus on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Possibly.
If they air it while I'm at work,
I'm
just going to have to watch it during my break.
You're going to have to take a personal, I have severe diarrhea. I need to go to the restroom right now.
Why are you going to the bathroom with your headphones? Because I'm going to be shitting loudly. I don't want to hear it.
Sorry.
I'm going to bring a change of underwear with me to work.
I was watching an episode of Orange is the New Black last night. Maybe. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. All right. Say hello. He was watching this with me last night. Say hello to VX Jason XV.
I'm melting. God, it's fucking hot up here.
It is hot. Welcome to Satan's Butthole, California.
Yeah, that's and it's funny because it wasn't terribly different. I was here just a week ago, and things haven't changed that dramatically. And I grew up in the desert, and God, the Bay Area has spoiled me.
Yeah,
and I don't even live there. What the hell is this?
Well, here's the good news. I checked the weather for LA next week. 70s and 80s.
Nice. I'm very happy to hear that.
Especially if we're doing the Disney thing later in the week and being outdoors all day. It's very nice news to hear because Disney in 100 degrees, not as fun.
Yeah.
So very good to hear it. In fact, I believe if I caught this correctly, this is not your first E3.
It is not my first E3. It is my second in a decade exactly.
That is so funny.
Your last one, we were at together for DDR Freak.
2004, absolutely.
That was also my first E3, and I remember we went to the Dear Friends concert together. That was one of the first times you and I ever hung out.
God,
that was the year of the thumping floor.
Crazy week.
That was the year of the thumping floor.
Thumping floor.
We went to some presentation, and it was on this big diagonal, and people were sitting on the floor, and they put subwoofers in the floor.
Sure, that made for the interestingest experience for the attendees.
Mm-hmm. So a decade later, I'm going to tell you, the show's changed a lot. An awful lot. No more Kensha Hall, rest in peace, which is really sad. You'll be able to see down there, and it's a bunch of parked cars. And you're like, what the hell? That is, of course, I don't know if the layout of the convention center has changed at all because of the construction for the Farmers Field football. So it doesn't seem like it based on the booth maps and things I'm seeing. Bobby's posted on VOG Network under our interactive coverage, e3.vognetwork.com, which I'll come back to later. But you can actually see the booth maps, and it doesn't look like it's changed. So I guess they didn't really start that construction yet. So
I remember watching E3 coverage, people that were live casting throughout the whole week, and there were like. When I was there in 2004, everything was very open, like booths. There wasn't really these dividing lines. There were decorated walls and everything that was being showed off. Like the biggest walls that I can think of are either supporting beams or like squares, little ramp up to their back wall and their inner enclave showing off Final Fantasy XI. But
yes, the theater.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But then when I watched it a year or two ago, like everybody had these big enclosing, just like draping curtains everywhere, which seems to be really terrible to accommodate that many masses of people.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. Also, a very important question that's going to be burning on everybody's mind. It's your first trip to Disneyland, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is not.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was.
It is my first as an adult or anything close to it.
Okay.
I haven't been to Disneyland since I was 7.
Okay. Then your first time truly at Disneyland as an adult. So, what are you looking for? I know you're not a coaster guy, but what are you truly looking forward to most at Disneyland?
I actually am looking forward to going back on Star Wars: The Experience.
There you go.
Because that was I've never been a roller coaster guy. I cried the first time I went on it because the emotion and the experience just overwhelmed me.
It's very different.
Yeah, they redid it 2 years ago.
It's completely different.
Is it
different
still shuttles and mass row sitting?
Yes,
okay.
but it's
high
still
definition 3D.
Sure. And I'm looking forward to that. But it'll just be funny to be in that line, look and see those like little triggers that I'll be able to remember.
Sing Star Trek and while you're in line for me.
Are you gonna cry again? Do I have to like hold your hand or something?
Maybe in happiness, and not in like sensory overwhelming fear.
All right,
it'll be. I'm sure like. I haven't thought about Disneyland for a long time because I've never made plans to go there. But.
I don't know if Zen still listens to the show, but Zen is a buddy of ours that is sometimes at the Star Wars gift shop at Disneyland. So Zen, if you happen to be working Friday, have some tissues ready for me, please. As a personal favor, I would really appreciate that.
It'll be really interesting. I've been on like a whole recollection kick for the last like year or two, and it'll be fun to just kind of be around and see what I personally specifically remember from being there before. But it'll be fun. I'll be around great people. I assume a lot of other E3 attendees will be there as well, so fun networking potentials to be made there. And this is going to be a insane week for many, many reasons, but I am completely looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's get into tonight's kickoff topic. Actually, I do have a few things I want to mention from the chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. VidPower talking about the movie theater Sony conference experience. VidPower says they sold out of tickets here 8 hours after the announcement. I don't think any of us are doing that. I mean,
no, they sold out of everywhere, but I think a lot of people started
scalping,
ordering tickets to get a certain beta code.
I think that's what's going to be given away there.
Yeah,
PlayStation Now or whatever.
It's for Battlefield Hardline.
Oh,
apparently, the rumor is for PlayStation 4, the beta for that.
Interesting. So, Jason and I are fortunate enough. We're going to the Sony conference, the real deal in LA. I'm curious. Those of you guys that go to the movie theaters, I really want to hear kind of what that is, because that's a really new thing. And to get all these common Sony fans in one place to watch it is a really fascinating idea. So I'm really curious to hear how that goes. I want some VidPower. I don't know if you're going, but anybody who is going, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that for next week's show. Let's see. Village. I read this name as Village Idiot is Matt, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a rude thing to say to Loki, but it's actually Village Idiot's Matt. Says, which I'm guessing is another Matt, says, is it true the Ouya controller sucks? One of the only things keeping me from trying it out.
Yes, it's not good.
Isn't it better now, though, than when you had it? Like, didn't they redo it?
No, because they did have another controller that was a redesign, and I ended up getting a replacement because mine was broken. It had a really terrible dead zone in it.
Right.
The new one worked. It wasn't that great, though. I think they have yet another one, but the thing is, you don't give a shit because you can sync your DualShock threes to them,
Nah.
and most games support them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think most games support them because the original controller sucked. And you can even use an Xbox 360 controller hooked up via USB and stuff. So there was a lot of options, but I only played with the DualShock.
I didn't think the Ouya controller was that terrible, but it is certainly no DualShock. I'll say that for sure. So, all right, let's get into kickoff topics. We got a couple things tonight. I want to talk E3, but I want to talk one of the big stories that's going around right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys have caught wind of the rumor has it's been going around. IGN ran a report last night that says The Last Guardian has been canceled. That they had on good authority. I think their Russian side or whatever had something that said that The Last Guardian was canceled. Well, one of the producers over at Sony said, we had a good laugh about that story this morning. So then they had to go back and modify the headline to say The Last Guardian may be canceled. And now it's coming out like conflicting reports that The Last Guardian is canceled. And this caused one of my good friends, Captain Spike from Game Buoy, to say on my Facebook the old classic line, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. Which, not to dogpile on IGN, but it's always fun to kind of poke fun. Obviously, they ran on some information they thought was legit, and Sony's coming out and flat out denying it. What do you guys think is going on? What do you guys think is the status of The Last Guardian, which, may I remind you, was first talked about in 2007. It's the new Duke Nukem Forever. Hopefully, it'll end up a better game if it's not canceled.
I think it's IGN being full of shit.
Yeah.
I really, honestly, whenever I see anything like that, I wait until I get an official word.
If I remember correctly, it was, I think, because I didn't even read the article, I think I glanced at something on NeoGAF or something, but I thought it was due to a mistranslation or something, or they took something one way and then it should have been another way. Honestly, here's what it comes down to. They ran it because of page hits. So now they, they had a good chance, and it seemed like it's something that makes sense to run that. And if they could be first with the story, then they get lots of page hits. And it just happened that it ended up not being true. But nonetheless, they still got tons of page hits. People are talking about it, and most people forget about this mistake in a few weeks. So it's just page hits.
All right. Anyway, just a note, we're still recording right now for the podcast, but wouldn't you know it, our live feed just went down. So right now our live listeners can't hear us.
E3 has taken another service down.
Oh my gosh, the rush is very frustrating, very frustrating, especially on a big show such as tonight, which is, the weird thing about an E3 prediction show for a show like us who tapes on Sunday night is that literally we're going to have 3/4 of the answers tomorrow. I mean, and Tuesday is when the rest of it with Nintendo and, the show floor opening up. So to do the predictions now is really for the live audience. I realize there's two distinct groups that listen to our show, right? There's the live folks, and then there's the folks that listen to the podcast, most of them Monday morning. So, hi to you guys that listen on the podcast feed, but I bet some of this is going to be hilarious to listen to in retrospect, because for all we know, Sony rolls out that Last Guardian trail tomorrow, and, all of this is for naught. But
hey, we weren't the ones that said it was canceled.
That's true. We were not the ones that said it was canceled. So
yeah, there are.
And this is when I sit back in judgment.
If this show comes last after the day's coverage, then answers, predictions. Well, at least we can gauge ourselves.
I think it does put Sony in an interesting pickle where they kind of need to say something on it. They need to give an update on the game. I don't think that'll necessarily happen at the press conference. I mean, maybe it was always planned. We don't know. You can bet that the script for tomorrow's press conference is iron tight. They are not going to change it, with the exception of if they may have some counter moves planned for Microsoft. There could be a script A, script B, script C kind of thing.
We have Crackdown 3.
Well, who knows? Anything is possible depending on what Microsoft does. They throw the first pitch, so Sony gets to respond to that in the position they're in. But you can bet that thing is scripted. They're not going to just suddenly say, oh, now we have to talk about The Last Guardian because IGN's got a big mouth. But I do kind of think it puts them in a position where they're going to have to say something. If it's not part of their planned press conference, then they're going to have to put out a press release or something that says the status, or drop a quote to GameSpot, the biggest competitor for IGN, or something.
Pull a Nintendo, show the logo on the screen, say, coming in 2015.
Well, Sony's also in a unique position where they have that app 2 that they're doing on the PlayStation 4, so they could always drop something into that too if they wanted to. I don't know. Again, there's a lot of questions about this game, so I think many of us would like an update. So we'll see. Anyhow, speaking of wanting an update, let's talk about the other half of the kickoff topic I wanted to do tonight, and that is your own personal thing you want to get out of this year's E3. Like, what's the one thing you're like really curious? I'm not talking prediction because that'll be later, but I'm talking like, what are you genuinely curious about? What is the thing you want to see more information about at the show? I'll start with Jamie because I have a pretty good guess what she might say, but
apart
sometimes
from
she
Mass
surprises
Effect
me.
stuff.
Okay, that was my guess.
I actually want to know if any of the previous characters played in Dragon Age or Dragon Age 2 will have any real bearing or appearance in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Gotcha. So Dragon Age Inquisition isn't that far out from release, so you want like those final details, like who am I going to be able to play, who am I not, what's up, what's going on.
Also,
What's fair?
I'm super happy about it though.
What?
Because some of the characters, like Vivian, looks amazing. Some of the characters just look really nice. I'm trying to be hopeful about it and hope that they don't pull what they did with Mass Effect 3. Different scriptwriters. It's done. It's over. No.
Let's see. Going to our chat room because the live listeners did come back, thank heavens, over at live.vognetwork.com. What Up G says, Kevin Butler comes on stage, Last Guardian this. I don't know if I think the Kevin Butler thing's kind of dead. I don't know. Loki, what about the thing you most personally want to see at E3 this year?
I just want to see a reason to buy any of these new systems, to be honest. I mean, because, I don't know. I want to see new stuff. I want to see like the stuff that hasn't been announced yet. I don't give a shit about fucking Fable Anniversary or Halo Anniversary. I want to see some new shit. That's what I want to see.
So it's games specifically, not peripherals. Or it's like, where are the freaking games?
I don't even know if there'd be anything peripheral wise that I'd be even interested in. I mean, I don't know. I guess Project Morpheus might be neat to see if they had any information like when that's actually coming out or something, but I don't think that they're going to have any of that. It's so early. Honestly, I'd be interested to see a little bit more on Sunset Overdrive. Anything from Sony, because I don't even know what the hell they have. I mean, coming out for the rest of the year, nothing new at least. And then Nintendo, shit, give me a fucking reason to buy the Wii U. I mean, because Mario Kart's cool, but I need something. I'm not going to invest $300 to play one game. Or I guess 2 because you get a free game. But I'm not going to invest $300 to buy, a handful of games.
Funny enough, though, a lot of people did.
That's cool, but see, I did that with the Wii, and the Wii has collected dust for several years now. So I'm just not going to do that. I need to, I need a reason because eventually Mario Kart will get burnt out, and then it's going to be like, okay, what now?
Fair enough.
So I just need to see why I need to buy one of these consoles. I mean, I want a new console. It'd be kind of cool to have one, but it's just I need a game that I'm really excited about. Like, I would totally be awesome. It would be totally awesome to see a new Saints Row game. I would be down with that, as long as they just don't go fucking crazy. I would just reboot the shit. I mean, seriously, it's beyond ridiculous right now. And if I hope they go back. They tone it down a bit. It'd be nice.
Now, some of you guys out there might be kind of a little surprised that Loki doesn't own a new console, but there's plenty of people that haven't made that plunge yet. Plenty of people. In fact, I'm looking at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, and SSJ100 Matt says, actually, this E3, more than last year's, will weigh a lot more in my decision-making in buying a console. And Dungeon Buster says, I'm still not buying a system yet either.
3 of the 4 of us in this room right now have not taken the plunge yet.
I thought Dark Soccer, you guys had a PS4 at home. I guess I'm wrong. Oh, why did I think that? All
Dan
right.
just spent $500 on a new driving rig.
No, then I'm the big consumer whore in the room.
And how?
But I don't have a one.
Shocking.
And to address Bobby, Saints Row 4 was so successful they need to go back and reboot it when it wasn't selling that well. Do remember that there is quite a bit of difference in time from the game that came out last year versus the original game that came out in 2006. Quite a few more people have bought the consoles since then.
I think they could also do it. The very first game that came out was a little more serious. Like, it was trying to be a competitor.
Saints Row 2 had a perfect balance between crazy and kind of toned down, and the story was fantastic. And you know what? Just building off of that and just going a little bit crazy like they did with Saints Row 3, I think that was fine. It's just when you get to, like, they're fucking in space in, like, the Matrix and shit. It's not even fucking original. It's so ripped off of everything, and it doesn't make any sense anymore. That's the thing. It's cool that they have a superhero game now, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. And yeah, okay, that might be the point, but it's not Saints Row anymore. It's another fucking game that they have the Saints Row title on. It's fucking Lords of Shadows, okay? That's what it is.
SG100 Matt in chat says, Loki has a new console. It's called a baby.
I already had a baby.
Does it have a power switch? All right. I'll talk about mine. The thing I am most curious about at this year's E3, I want to see if Nintendo makes a Hail Mary play. That is, and I realize they may not. I realize we may know most everything that's happening with Nintendo between Smash Brothers and Bayonetta. Like, we have a pretty good idea what their holiday lineup looks like. But, out there in the media, the Wii U has been getting dogpiled a little bit. Yes, there is a little sparkle, a little glimmer of hope with what's going on with Mario Kart 8. But whatever Nintendo's plan is for this E3 was thought up long before the sales figures for games that came out just last week came in. So I'm very curious to see what Nintendo's Hail Mary plan will be, if there is one. I mean, I fully realize it may be par for the course, but there's that part of me that goes, okay, for all the crap we've given Nintendo over the years about they don't get online, Mario Kart 8, it didn't go down. The YouTube thing actually works out pretty well. It's become a meme. It's so, the level of detail in the game is so well done, it's down to that level. You kind of go, could there be more of this coming from Nintendo that we just don't know about yet? And could it really make us go, wow, like I never thought Nintendo was going to do that, and they finally freaking did it. Like, I'm talking like if they came out and they said Pokemon MMO and just put it all out on the table. That's the type of like Hail Mary thing I'm talking about, where it's like they finally do something we never thought they would do, and it's in a fit of desperation, in a sense, to win back the public. Because Nintendo, I mean, I have a lot of friends, especially that will loyally support Nintendo through a lot and will defend Nintendo through a lot. Nintendo is a very big brand that a lot of people really kind of, tie to and connect with. And I think they're always going to have that little group. But I'm really curious, what are they going to do to really push the envelope and open it up to everybody? Will they finally make the Pokemon console game that they've always refused to make? I'm not talking Stadium. I'm talking like the RPG adventure or the MMO. I'm talking, are they going to do a Metroid that looks like a freaking Halo game that's online and shoot 'em up player thing? Because I don't know, they think that's what people want. I really want to see, like, what is that thing where Nintendo really breaks the mold we've all come to expect from them. So we'll see. That's what I'm looking forward to see, but we'll see. And VidPower in our chat room kind of backs that up. Good guy Nintendo. Free servers didn't go down when Mario Kart 8 came out. So, but to be fair, it's one game. It's one game. All right, you cracked the seal. Now let's see the waterfall of games that you're going to have next. All right, Jason, how about you? Lastly, what is the thing you personally want to see more of at E3?
E3 is at a really, really strange time in like the course of video game development right now. And I say that because Nintendo has been around since the Wii U has been around since 2012 and everything else since the end of 2013. The point I was going to make was that I'm looking forward to seeing games that are going to have that not release window polish on them, and I think that's still going to hold true, but I think that they're not nearly developed far enough yet that it will be as meaningful as I want it to be. But that's really what I'm looking forward to this year, is just that, like, this year to me is going to be future outlook, like maybe holiday season, but probably getting us to next E3 when everything new is actually going to be on the show floor.
There's a lot of talk about all these games that are being delayed to 2015, and
exactly.
There's so many of them, we don't even have them all on our show roll tonight. In fact, one I know that's not on the show roll that was big news, the next Batman game pushed to 2015, which is huge news, right?
Yeah, I kind of knew that was... Actually, I knew about that a few weeks ago.
Well, why didn't you say something?
Well, because it's financial year 2015, and I thought that was sometime in October.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I didn't realize it was actually...
fiscal years are.
I didn't realize it was actually next year. If I had known when their fiscal started, I would have been able to drop that bombshell a few weeks ago. But yeah, it's just... I don't know. I'm not surprised, because that's a pretty ambitious game. And,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so Jason, what I think I'm hearing from you is that you want to see even beyond all these games getting pushed back to 2015. You're like, what is the life vision for these consoles? What is the life expectancy? Is that kind of what I'm hearing? Like, you want to see
an extent, and it's actually more
the
than
5-year plan.
It's more than just consoles too, because it's also things like the new Unreal Engine that just came out a couple of months ago. There are and Oculus continuing its Steam Project Morpheus coming up and actually doing something. Like right now, all of these technologies that have hit in the last 6 months or so are a thing now. So we're going to get a tiny, tiny little glimpse about what that's going to mean for gaming. Probably not in the next year, because this shit takes forever to develop. But it's going to be the seeds, the inklings for the next 1 or 2 years.
You should go to the Game Developers Conference next year. I think you might get more there. But
don't need to spend more time in the Bay Area. But I probably will, because there are coworkers. Me and a couple of coworkers are trying to drum up support, and we're trying to make a bigger deal about gaming within our company and going to these kinds of events. Coworkers of mine have been at GDC, and if timing works out, I would absolutely love to do that.
Okay,
and it's as not. Since as I've said on the show, I'm not exactly I'm not exactly a full-time gamer. I'm also not a developer, but I'm kind of gravitating towards engine production development and interest in that thing on a technical level. And so my answer falls right in line with that.
All right. Now, next week, next week's kickoff topic, I'm going to actually give you 7 days notice on the kickoff topic. Next week's kickoff topic will be, were you satisfied with what you saw? So I'm going to follow up and see if Dark Soccer got the Dragon Age and Mass Effect info she wanted. I'm going to see if Loki found a reason to buy a console.
My answer is no. Right
You don't know yet. Sit down.
I do know, because here is the fucking Nintendo E3, whatever you want, live from the treehouse, because it's like a fucking kid's meal at Burger King or something.
Oh my god!
It's gonna be too much fucking 3DS, not enough Wii U, and it's just gonna be yay. That's about it.
If it's a treehouse, does that mean there's gonna be a new Donkey Kong Country?
No, it's what I don't know what the fuck the treehouse is supposed to be, but that's what they call their fucking event. But that's what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be. It's mostly 3DS, because that's where the money is right now.
I hope Iwata didn't go to E3 because he's coming over to kick your ass.
Bring it on. That guy can't be that tall. I'm sure I could take him. Oh, anyways, last bit. You know what I'd love to see? I know this is such like a long shot. I mean, I think Half-Life 3 being revealed would be more likely. I'd love to see a new console DDR.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's just never going to happen.
That'd be nice. All right, Jason, I know you're not going to be, or will you be here for the next show? Or you're back to Colorado?
I haven't decided. I think, we're driving back on Saturday. Yeah. I think I should get home, which means driving all day Sunday and most of Monday.
Gotcha.
But I haven't actually decided yet. So
fair enough.
Perhaps see you folks next week.
Perhaps. We'll Skype you if nothing else, just to figure out if you got to see your long-term vision or whatever, and I'll let you know if Nintendo... I think mine will probably be pretty easy, because I think you're all going to be feeling it if I feel it. So anyway, I want to do housekeeping first and then do our gaming weeks, which I know is a little out of order, but I'm going to use housekeeping, of course, to promote what we're working on at VOG Network, e3.vognetwork.com. It is our live interactive coverage at the Voice of Geeks Network of the E3 Expo. Myself, Bobby, Jason will be like half us and half his day job. So 2.5 times the coverage we had last year when it was just one person. What happens is that we are the second place to go for all the information. Look, we're not delusional. We know y'all go to Twitch or IGN or GameSpot, whatever, one of those sites, to go figure out what's breaking at E3 and see everything, for the first time, and see all those press releases turned into articles and all that stuff. That's great. Go to those sites, absorb the information, get everything you can on the games. But then, when you're kind of sick of reading the same thing over and over and over again, and you've got this burning question that isn't being answered anywhere else, come on over to e3.vognetwork.com and ask it. We are your voice out there on the show floor. We can't guarantee everybody's going to talk. We can't guarantee everybody's going to answer your question. We're not going to get the runaround, but we're going to try. And usually we found, I'm just kind of warning you guys from years past, the bigger the developer, the less willing they are to go off script. So if you want Square Enix to talk about Final Fantasy 15 when they flat out said it's not the show this year, you can try, but the answer is probably going to be fat chance. However, some of these other developers that are pretty open and want to talk to their people, like I'm sure the folks, if there is a Saints Row 5 or a Saints Row reboot or that type of thing announced, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to talk about those games and answer those types of questions. They're usually pretty good about that stuff.
Still buy it, whatever it is.
Of course you will. You know you will.
I know.
The folks that make The Witcher are pretty good. Those games that aren't necessarily the AAA titles, but are kind of like just below that, are usually pretty good about talking up their stuff at E3. So ask away. We'll try, if nothing else. Funny enough, I mean, I just said that, but probably the biggest break we got last year was we got a Disney scoop. Thanks to the interactive coverage, they announced Disney Infinity last year, and they talked about all these figurines, and somebody went onto our site and said, I've seen all this talk about the figurines. Nobody said about how much are they going to cost. So Rob and Bobby, I want you to find, well, actually it was just Bobby last year. Bobby, find out how much those figurines are. And he did. It might have been. Was it your question? I don't know. Somebody.
No, my answer.
No. Bobby got word on the show floor. You confirmed it, basically. So
I already know how much they
are. Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of good stuff that's going to come out of the coverage. e3.vognetwork.com. Check it out. All right, and that's all I have for housekeeping. We will be back here next Sunday. There will be, sadly, no special shows during the show. What we're going to try to do is use that time to book interviews for future episodes. I may try to record some stuff there to play during future shows, but that's that. We are looking at having a live interview on the show on the 22nd, actually, but I will talk more about that next week because I don't have everything signed and dotted and all that, and I don't want to promote something I don't know for sure. So I'll tell you this, it's a kind of a neat game that a lot of people are talking about right now, so we'll hopefully have that more info for you next week on that. All right, meantime, let's go into our gaming weeks and the types of video games we have been playing this week. We'll go through this pretty quick. Dark Sakura.
So far, just Animal Crossing, although I did actually manage to get a little bit of time this afternoon and play through some Final Fantasy 14 and just hit the level I've been trying to get. So now I get to do like 5 quests and then grind for another 2 levels until I can get the next bit of my story quest. So no one will still do that dungeon with me. The DD.
I'm just never on when you are.
I never remember the name.
Dasmiel Darkhold or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
It's an interesting one. If I wasn't gone all next week, I'd help you, but
it's okay.
You'll get it.
Yeah, so I've really had a very minimalist week.
All right. Loki, how was your gaming week?
I only played Goat Simulator version 1.1. I only played a little bit of it because they have like a lot of stuff that they added. They added a whole new section of the map. If you go into the tunnel now, it'll allow you to travel to it's like some coastal town thing that they made. Mm-hmm. And it's got all sorts of crazy stuff. It has its own theme park, and you can like stick your tongue to the roller coaster and do some stuff with there. Plus, they have goat parkour in there now, and you can ride a skateboard and ride a bike. The only thing I didn't like about it is that the goat, they seem to have increased the speed of the goat it's like really, really, really fast now for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. So it's kind of hard to control sometimes because it doesn't run like it used to. But it's still silly. Still a fun game. So definitely check it out. If you bought it earlier, check out the new patch because it was free. So lots of stuff in there. Including a Minecraft Go, which I haven't found yet, but there's a ton of stuff in the game. That's it. That's all I played.
All right. Jason, how about you? How was your gaming week?
I did finally get a chance to play Mario Kart. It did come in on Monday, and I've played a couple of multiplayer and a couple of solo rounds. I don't think I have anything else particularly interesting to add on top of what you did, but it is a great game. It runs so well. I have clips from my personal favorite races up on YouTube. That replay feature, I completely agree with the point that you made in that these are going to get really old really fast, and by the time that everybody else figures them out and starts posting every single one because they can, we're going to be like, yeah, we saw that. But the actual mechanics for not just 100% defaults of how it makes the replays, but also the little tweaks. If anybody out there listening has Mario Kart 8 and has not hit edit replay highlights or something like that, you can choose the racers to feature. You can bump it up to 60 seconds, 30, 45, or 60. You can also do all, but it's worthless unless you're going to watch it because you can only post up to 60 seconds to YouTube.
Right.
But you can actually tweak these tiny little things about the race, and it makes it a lot better because we're not just seeing one person zoom around racers at opportunistic times and all that kind of stuff. But the replay feature is grand. For as being hands-off as it is, they did a wonderful job. I'm enjoying that game thoroughly, and unfortunately, it's at a place I'm not going to be full-time. Anyways, whatever, no big deal. I played that while I was killing time before coming up to Sacramento yesterday, more Titanfall, and I think there was something, but I'm totally 100% drawing a blank. I went to Scandi again, and that was fun. I actually got to use the headphone ports for all three, Technica, Pop-In, and 2DX, and it makes a difference because I have big over-the-ear headphones, and you kill all of the other arcade noise, mostly, and just hear game sounds, and it makes the experience quite a bit better. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Does anybody in this room know what the term yak shaving means?
Well, it certainly conjures a particular image to mind.
In the quick summary of it is that you need to go check the mail. It's a sub-zero blizzard outside. So you need a coat. You don't have a coat. You need to go shave your yak to get the fur to make a coat. It's a series of steps that you fumble over in order to actually accomplish one thing. That was my week in a nutshell. I bought a recorder for E3 and systematically failed to be able to put micro SD cards that I had and ordered to use. And to top it all off, I was putting them in backwards. I discovered that today.
Wah, 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 wah.
Sony's instructions are terrible because the words tell you when you put a Vita or M2, whatever their brand is, when you put a Vita card in, the contacts face you. When you put a micro SD card in, you put it label towards you. The two of them are opposite. I didn't notice in the diagram that facing you is the back of the recorder. So despite the fact that I could just pop it and put it right in while looking at the face of the unit, no, it's backwards. Fuck you, Sony. Thank you. But it's working, and I have more battery capacity and SD cards than there is time in the week, literally 24 hours times 7 days a week. So I'm ready, I hope.
All right.
Maybe.
My gaming week, I also played more Mario Kart, which I talked extensively about last week, so I won't repeat myself, except to say that I finally played some 4-player matches. Still disappointed you can't get one of those people on the gamepad by themselves. I do notice a little bit of a frame rate dip in those matches, but it's not the end of the world. I'm getting really nitpicky at that point when I get into that. Still a lot of fun, and that's the most important thing of all. Also on the Wii U, I finally got to play the Wario. It's not WarioWare, it's like Game & Wario. It's just another minigame collection. Yeah, okay. It's a mini game collection, party games. You know, I had 5 people over here last night. That it was fun for that, and that's it was cute. We play this game where you launch people onto platforms, and then like as you land, you might knock other people off, and the platforms move. It's silly stuff.
I played Rob's NES Remix and NES Remix 2. It reminded me of Dance Master Mode from DDR. I completely forgot that.
Yeah.
Super fun.
You unlocked Clue Clue Land for me.
I unlocked the first stage of Clue Clue Land.
Hooray! Okay. Also, a game I've been spending a little more time with this week. I bought. It came out, and some of you might be surprised to hear I bought this, but I picked up on the 3DS since I had some credit on the Nintendo Store from buying all this other stuff, and I had the Nintendo Wii U Deluxe, so I get all that 10% back or whatever, and now that store is across both the Wii U and the 3DS, so I was able to get Tomodachi Life at a discounted price. Now, yes, there was a lot of controversy around this game, which we got into a couple weeks ago on the show, and I said my piece, but I think it's important to realize that Nintendo did apologize for that, and I think the gaming community as a whole, for the most part, accepted Nintendo's second apology. Unfortunately, it took them 2 times to get it right. But I decided, you know what? I like these type of sim games anyway. I was a fan of Animal Crossing. I'm going to check the game out. I realize some of my GLBT family does not feel the same way. And there's some people out there that feel very strongly that Nintendo screwed up and we should not be buying Tomodachi Life. However, if people continue to hold grudges against me for my entire life for things that I've had to apologize for in the past, and with 555 episodes of this program, I've said some stupid shit I've had to apologize for in the past. If people held grudges against me for the rest of my life, I wouldn't like that very much, and that would be really sad and depressing that there would be like literally nothing I could do to make things right. So my point is, they apologized. Let's move on. That being said, I want to put that whole controversy behind us and kind of evaluate the game as a game. Well, all right, I guess I should get this out there. It's really, really easy to kind of get what I want in that sort of like romance department. So here's what I did. You can't change the gender of a me that you import from your own, like, me, Plaza, or the me's that are saved on your system and so forth. But what you can do is you can make a new me, and you can make it a male or female, and all the same facial features, beards, lipstick, mole, beauty marks, whatever, are the same, male or female. You can do whatever you want. You want to make Conchita worst? You can. So what I did is I created Alan in the game as a female. And he knows that I did this. And so his character and my character, are funny enough, are getting into a relationship right now. They're doing that whole courting each other, having long walks on the beach thing. It's really adorable. So it really wasn't that hard to work around. So I say that both as a pro and a con, in that the pro is that if you really want to set up a same-sex relationship, as long as you're willing to overlook a few things such as misgendering, but I just kind of giggle it off. It'll keep referring to Alan as a she, but I just think of it as like an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, how is she though? How is she a girl? And I just kind of picture it like that in my mind, and it's fine. If you're willing to kind of overlook that little bit of silliness, it works just fine, and it's really easy to set up. But the con that I also say to that is that it was really easy to set up. And I'm buying a little less and less that it would have taken a lot for Nintendo to fix this. I'm not a programmer, so I'm not really going to try to get into it, but I just kind of think if Nintendo had really wanted to do it, they could have. But I do think at the end of the day, they were a bit lazy and probably ignorant, which, okay, they've apologized. I've done some lazy and ignorant things in my life. Whatever. We'll move on and see what happens in the future. Anyway, now I'm really done with that topic, but I felt like I had to tell you the whole story on what's going on there. Let's talk about the game itself, and kind of just trying to look at it from that neutral standpoint. The game is really nothing like Animal Crossing, in my opinion. I know we kind of keep comparing it to that, but it really isn't like that at all. It's a little more like honestly, it plays like a Facebook game. And I realize that could be seen as like a negative, but that's really what I think it is. You check in on it once in a while, and somebody wants to be fed, or somebody wants new clothes, and they want to feed me, burp me.
So it's Nintendo's instead of Nintendogs.
Actually, that's not a bad way to look at it. It's almost like Nintendogs with people is almost a better way to look at it than Animal Crossing.
Ironically, there was also the Sony game that came out this week that was Nintendogs, but they talked like people, and that was weird.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I mean, but what are you rewarded with for, feed me, change my clothes, do whatever, tell me about if this person and I will make a good match or whatever. You get rewarded with story, and it's very much a fishbowl game. You're looking at these little like virtual pets, which is why I think maybe Nintendogs is kind of a great comparison, because you're rewarded with the story. And when you have like 30 or something villagers in your little town that are all based off me's that you made, either me's made off celebrities, me's from people with these QR codes and so forth, you kind of get these little stories. And so this causes you to be able to go to other people and go, Loki, he'll never guess what you did in my town. Oh my God, you were acting so stupid, and you would not believe that you're in a relationship with Lady Gaga, who I imported a me that looks like Lady Gaga to my town. And it's like those little silly story sharings. It's very quirky. There's a lot of like, let's sing karaoke. You don't actually sing karaoke, but you watch your characters sing pop songs and make these silly music videos. And there's this nightly news element in it where you hear about the crazy antics that your me's are getting into, and me's on the street will be interviewed, which are the me's there. So, I mean, that's what it is. Essentially, it's this big, you'll never guess what the people in my sim are doing, which is, again, kind of goes back to The Sims. The Sims was a big thing like that. He'll never guess what I did in my house. Okay, so I built a pool and I had everybody go in the pool and then I got rid of the ladder and you'll never guess what happened, right? Those are the kinds of stories that we create out of these types of games. And that's what you do get in Tomodachi Life is those stories and that aspect of it. But the game aspect, you guys, is really, really weak. There's no fishing like an animal. There's no bug catching. There's really none of that. Sometimes you get into pick a card out of my hand and let's see who gets a pair first. Or here's a picture zoomed in 3 times the regular amount. What could it be? There's really crappy throwaway mini games like that you can play that sometimes they'll want to play.
It would be
but it's nothing.
It'd be hilarious if it's just so disturbed. What is it? It's my penis. It's my penis. Whoa, that was unexpected there.
No, nothing like that. I think
Lady Gaga.
Sometimes there's they have a lot of weird items and things in the game, but that's really it. So here's the thing: the bottom line on this game, I do think it serves a cute purpose, and for people that want a nice little distraction, it's a polished game that allows you to kind of interact with the people. It's like a Facebook game. If you're the type of person that doesn't mind checking in with a Facebook game every, day or so for a good 15 minutes to just kind of check on people and so forth, Tomodachi Life is a very polished version of that game. But if you're looking for a game, you're not going to find it here. And I, for that reason, kind of give it, I'm tepidly positive on this game. I'm not super enthusiastic positive. I kind of think it does what it needs to do. I'm not sure it's worth $35 at the end of the day. I think this is a $20 game, not a $35 game. Or this is a game that Nintendo will give away a year from now to get you to buy something else. I kind of don't think $35 is worth it for this game. And that's what I have to say on Tomodachi Life. If you disagree with me, you can always email us and your thoughts on the game. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com. If you want to send something. I'm looking at our chat to see if anything has come up on that, what I was just talking about. Dark Tetsuya says at live.vognetwork.com. So it's sort of like a soap opera or not quite that deep. Well, is a soap opera really that deep, Dark Tetsuya? It's a telenovela. Let's put it that. It's a telenovela. It's a little bit like that. So, yeah, there you go. All right, let's get into some gaming news now that we've all gone with our gaming weeks and talk about what really is going on in the gaming world this week. Loki.
All right, so this kind of leaked out based off of people being at the convention center early and taking some photographs from the inside, kind of looking at booths being constructed and stuff. And one of the things that was spotted at Nintendo's booth was this big old banner for something called Mario Maker. And it kind of shows a picture of, the Super Mario Brothers 1 style graphics with someone, placing a piranha plant with a stylus. So what is it? Is it something for 3DS? Is it something for Wii U? No idea, but it looks like a game that revolves around making your own 2D Mario levels.
Is it a game for both? Wiggling eyebrows.
It could be. I mean, shit, if the Wii U can't handle 2D Mario, which it should be able to since it runs on Virtual Console, and it's also an NES remix, I think that they could probably handle this. Hey, maybe it's based off of the engine that runs NES Remix, since they kind of remix the games there anyways.
Maybe you could be absolutely right, actually, on that.
I don't know.
Thoughts? You and I were joking before the show. You kind of said this on an earlier show.
Yeah, I only said this I don't even know how long ago, but yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think it was back when I was saying, how Nintendo doesn't really want to put effort into some of these games that they release, like for example, Virtual Console and stuff like that. They just, they'll re-release a game and they won't really add that many features into it. Well, just add a game that people like Mario Brothers or something. Now, a level creator, and have a way where you can share levels and stuff like that. There you go. All your community creates the content for you. You have to do no work other than build in that editor, which you probably have anyways. So yeah.
Although I don't know if I want to believe the rumor or not. I mean, we're going to find out in 2 days anyway. I feel like this is a very logical step for Nintendo. It makes a lot of sense. So if it's a made up thing, it's a really good and convincing made up thing, because this is something where I could see Nintendo going in this direction. It's essentially Little Big Planet starring Mario in a way. And I think that's a really good thing for Nintendo right now, because if you think about it, they don't really have a lot like it. I mean, back in the day, you could edit Excitebike tracks, but what could you really do with that? Even here in the States, we didn't have the Famicom disk system, so you couldn't even save what you did. It was like, come over and I'm going to design a track while you do something else and you can play my track. Like, it's like that. And there's been like little editing in that way. I think maybe some Super Nintendo games had like 3 slots you could save things, like little things like that. But nothing that I can think of that's really incorporated the internet. Like, I'm really trying to think on something that kind of does that create and share that really Little Big Planet's based on the Nintendo universe. I'm drawing a blank.
Smash
Brothers Brawl.
There you go. Okay.
Which also had a limit of what, like 4 or 5 stages, I think, if I remember correctly.
It was pretty limited, yeah.
Still, I would argue there's a pretty significant difference between something of that caliber and taking a game like a 2D platformer like Mario and opening that up to everybody to kind of do their own
look
thing.
Look how many ROM hacks there are for Mario. I mean,
right? I mean,
we're gonna have asshole Mario officially.
Why doesn't Nintendo? And I think a lot of people have been wondering, why doesn't Nintendo just embrace this? Everybody wants to hack the game, and this is when I talk about Nintendo making a Hail Mary play and doing something that none of us expect. This is kind of in line with that.
I have an answer to that question.
Okay,
Swap Note Spot Pass. That's why.
So do you think there is a concern that people will make levels that are, giant blocks that say fuck, shit, cunt, as you run through the level, and Nintendo's worried about having to police that? Or
it may be community created, but it's still moderator curated. Like, yes, they will have to enforce that kind of thing if it is publicly accessible for everybody. Even if it's not, they probably have to. Like, this is the Nintendo Network and Miiverse and all of this stuff where people drive the content. Yes, that's true, but Nintendo has very, 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 very strict social guidelines. So they can't have everything doing this. They have just enough that they have manpower.
I wish they'd do this with, like, the original Mario Kart. Make like their own track editor would be awesome.
Well, you never know. I mean, I just see with Nintendo, getting more and more into the online thing. Again, this makes, because I could see you could share your levels on Miiverse quite easily, and Nintendo does have that moderator thing in place. So maybe like Little Big Planet, there'll be a way to report offensive levels, and they'll be able to look at it. Like, there's probably a way they can look at the file on their screen and just see the level all at once and see if anything offensive is in it and take action that way. Yeah. So I don't know. So maybe Nintendo's going to start to embrace this, and logically, it makes a lot of sense. I hope it's true. It also seems like a stupidly easy thing for Nintendo to make, doesn't it?
And also like something that they could do for 1, 2, 3 World. I mean,
yeah, like one of the best parts of NES Remix 2 was that whole I'm playing as the princess in Super Mario 3. That's so trippy, but awesome. Like, that was like one of the highlights for me. So yeah, you're right. If they could kind of fuse all that together, if Mario Maker is not just Mario 1, or maybe it's Mario 1 to start, but if you want the DLC for Mario 2 and 3, you got to buy the Virtual Console game, and now it'll come with it.
Yeah,
who knows? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what Nintendo gets into with that. If Mario Maker comes out, let's hypothesize you owned a Wii U. Let's say Mario Maker comes out. It's a $30 game. Would you buy it?
For $30? No.
$30 still too much, huh?
It'd have to be there'd have to be some significant stuff in there, and I just honestly, if I want to play ROM hacked Mario games, there's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of them out there that do even like trippier stuff than just rearranging the levels. Metroid would be cool too, because I've seen a lot of ROM hacked Metroid stuff. But anything ROM hacked sometimes is pretty, interesting, especially when you're, redesigning levels, and there's some pretty cool levels out there.
There's even custom storylines for Earthbound, Mother 2 and Mother 3.
I'm curious for Jamie and Jason's thoughts on this real quick, but going to the chat room at live.vognetwork.com, Blender says Little Big Planet has a strict policy and will remove levels. So, it's not like this format of having levels and moderating them and so forth doesn't already exist somewhere else.
And if I remember correctly, they even outright... Well, no, I've played custom levels that have camera taken photos. Mm-hmm. Never mind, but they probably moderate those much more strictly because the real world and a camera and part of your level.
Yep, time to penis. Although I did play a level once that was all pictures of Parker Posey. It was great. That was my favorite, because then you could take the stickers and put them in your own levels. It was this really creepy, like, Parker Posey stalking thing. It was hilarious. So, But while you have the mic, your personal thoughts on Mario Maker and if it's something that would interest you.
Ask me on Tuesday.
Cop out.
I just
all
want-
right.
I'm going to see
take
it.
all the-
Fuck
all
it.
the-
I'm going to see it on
You
Tuesday.
take all the maybe
I just
if it's
want.
true.
Ideally, I just want, and this is probably selling me a Wii U. I just want Excite Truck Maker. That's what I want. I just want Excite Truck Maker because the game was perfect. You just need more levels. That's all you needed. Was more levels.
Jamie, quickly, your thoughts?
I don't think it's enough to make me want a Wii U.
Not enough to make you want a Wii U, but let's hypothesize you already had a Wii U. Would the game itself be something of interest to you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I spend most of my time in The Sims building houses, so I'd be probably just do nothing but build shit all day.
The design
To never be used.
The design side of you, I
Hey.
think, would twitch a little
Yeah.
bit, like getting to do this.
Here's another interesting thing. What if it was not just making Mario levels? What if it was like Mario Paint?
I pay enough for Photoshop.
That was actually the initial reaction I had when I first heard about this news.
You know, there has been a lot of clamoring for a return of Mario Paint. You know, we haven't seen that in a very long time, and the Wii U seems like an obvious play. I mean, we have games that are very similar, like Art Academy on the 3DS and so forth. Like, it's not out of the question that we would get some type of return of Mario Paint. As long as it has the Fly Swatter game, that's all I want. All right. Act Deft in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com says Mario Paint. I would like that. All right, let us go to our next story, which has to do with Xbox. The Xbox One controller. I remember this. Jason, you brought an Xbox One controller and a PlayStation 4 controller to the studio once, and I was like, why did you buy these controllers? And you were like, yeah, I wanted them, and someday I'll be able to use them on the PC.
Yep.
Well, guess what? That day has come, Jason.
It's actually sitting 8 feet away from you right now.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
They're in my little black bag over there.
Well, Microsoft has released the official drivers for Xbox One for the PC. So it will support 32-bit and 64-bit Windows PCs. Any game that currently supports the Xbox 360 controller will support the One controller, and as soon as you install the drivers, you can start using that controller and connect it via a micro USB cable. Native controller support will come in a Windows update that is to come in the future, but they wanted to get the drivers out there ASAP so that people can use it on the PC. And I'm gonna be honest, the Xbox 360 controller makes a great PC controller. I use it all the time. So I kind of want an Xbox One controller just to, because, you know, again, the D-pad on the 360 drives me nuts. So I imagine it's a lot better on the One.
I'd also like to see some of those PC games support the those rumble triggers. I'd be interested to see how that's like.
Yeah. It would be cool. Well, one game that you could use that controller on as well when it comes out is Dead Rising 3. Of course, Dead Rising is already out on the Xbox One, but if you don't own a One but somehow have a controller like Jason, the game is coming to Steam. Capcom announced earlier this week that it will be on PC, and it's part of their E3 2014 lineup. We don't know when, but it seems like it wouldn't take too long to put together, so I would think this holiday season, if not maybe something more like August, just in time for all these new drivers. You could play Dead Rising 3. Dark Soccer, what do you have for us?
I have some stuff, but it's not happy stuff.
Aw.
But we knew this was coming one day.
Mm-hmm.
The PSP. Mm-hmm. Womp womp.
Oh, do I have to get the sound effect board again?
No, I did all the sound effects we need.
Okay, fine.
It is going to be ending later this month. Bye-bye. At least in Japan. It also is discontinuing it in North America. Of course, the shipment's already discontinued up here. It's going to continue on in Europe for a little while, and it's going to be continuing in Latin America, some of the other Asian countries, but it's officially...
But I bet Fry's will still sell the UMDs movies, trying to get rid of that last of the stock that they have.
They'll eke any penny they can out of that, and then maybe I'll buy some.
There you go.
But I mean, it's almost 10 years old. I guess that's...
It seemed like the PSP was still kicking in Japan, though, so it was kind of a surprise to hear this. And maybe
buy the Vita. We'll force you to buy the Vita.
Maybe that's part of what it is.
That's kind of what I think it is.
Yeah. But, but the only bummer about the PSP is that anytime I think of the PSP, I'm going to inevitably think of the PSP Go, which in retrospect was probably just a little bit ahead of its time. I mean, a digital-only platform. It's really funny. The PSP Go, in a way, was doing some of the things the Xbox One wanted to do with the digital-only.
Yeah.
And, it didn't work out so well.
People bought them, though. I mean, some people did.
I kind of think if the PSP Go were to come out today, it might actually have done a little better.
PSP Go or PSP No? No.
Yeah, there is a much better network that could have actually supplanted it with games and with a lot more games nowadays, especially with the addition of PlayStation Plus.
I was going to say PlayStation Plus alone would give that thing a lot of value.
God knows I have like 6 purchases for a system that I don't own.
Yeah, right? So...
and also they added, was it the Xbox Live Gold stuff already?
Mm-hmm.
So since now fucking Sony won't let me register those PlayStation 4 games anymore since I don't own a PlayStation 4. But on Microsoft now you can do the Xbox One games, and I can do it even though I don't have an Xbox One. So
all right.
Get in on that shit.
All right, Loki, why don't you continue on?
All right. So moving on here, let's see. This is kind of neat. Good old games, they've kind of had a pretty decent service going along with all their older games that are DRM free. Now, if you want a kind of similar integration with stuff as Steam does, they have their own client that they announced called Galaxy. And now Galaxy is going to be going to have cross-platform support, as well as for those playing online, and it's also totally optional. So if you want to have that in there, you'll be able to earn achievements, access your library, also the multiplayer stuff, and it's kind of a neat little front end for all these games you may have through GOG.com. But if you don't want that and you want things the way they are now, you don't need it. So that's kind of cool. I didn't actually watch the live stream, but I guess that's part of their Witcher announcement, I think, as well, or when they were talking about that stuff. So
I'm curious to check this out because I have a very small library on Good Old Games.
Yeah, all the free stuff that they've given out.
I actually have bought things on Good Old Games. I bought when they released Sid Meier's Covert Action. Those of you that listen to the show for a long time know I have this really awkward boner for Covert Action, which, was a game from my childhood I just loved, even though the critics, weren't really into it. And even kind of looking back in retrospect, I'm like, this game was kind of stupid. But it was Carmen Sandiego, but with guns and killing people. It was awesome. So I will always have a soft spot for Covert Action.
Battle Chess, Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, Space Quest, Descent.
So
I think those are the things that I've actively bought from there because they make cross-platform DOSBox emulation for all of those old games. Yeah,
you got a little library.
I'm downloading Galaxy right now.
Yeah, I think it is a good service overall, especially if you're. I think some of the games are sometimes a little pricey, but usually it's for a reason. They're the games we really, really, really enjoy. But it's just hard. I mean, what is the value of a game like that? But then again, I also pay $5 for things on Virtual Console that some would say, what the hell are you spending that money on?
I'm a liar. I'm not downloading it right now. It's not out just yet. I will download it when it's actually out.
Oh, we're not downloading it on this bandwidth. We're having a hard time keeping the show up tonight.
Hey, that outage wasn't our fault.
That's true.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about right now.
Well, the live listeners sure do. All right. Let's move on to you, Jason.
Continue the conversation. So Valve has officially embraced the fickle nature of game and game development by updating their early access FAQ, warning that users may be playing games that will never actually be released, or worse, could be scrapped outright. The statement updated to read, it's up to the developer to determine when they are ready to release, and some developers have a concrete deadline in mind, while others get a better sense as the development of the game progresses. Doug Lombardi, who's the director of marketing at Valve, said along with this that the changes to the FAQ are intended to help set customer expectations of what may or may not happen over the course of development of an early access game. We frequently iterate on Steam features as we gather feedback and find areas for improvement. In this case, it became apparent that further clarifications would help customers evaluate their potential purchase of early access titles. We think of Steam, early access, and game development as services that grow and evolve best with the involvement of customers and community. And this is really super surprising to me because don't some early access games cost like full price for what you would buy for a new game?
Yes, they do.
I know I've seen a good number of like $10 or $15, but I have definitely also seen like $50 early access
Arma
games.
3. Arma 3 was early access, and I think that was like $40.
I bought Audio Surf on early access. I think there's another one I bought too. But, I mean, those were more indie titles. So they're like $10-15.
Yeah, and they were also early, like...
Audio
Wasn't
Surf,
that actually even before early access was officially a thing?
I think it was. I think Audio Surf in particular is one of the early. I mean, it was released as an early game, and it's still really being developed. So
yeah, it's a very interesting feature. Don't get me wrong, and we have a lot of the same arguments that we do with Kickstarter, that these things may not pan out. The difference is that because it's an early access game, you are playing something, so you get something out of it. But like any game, if it requires server components, especially if the source disappears, then, well, your game may eventually disappear as well. And Steam had to do legal cover your ass. So, that went into the fact.
Well, we'll see how people keep to early access in light of this news.
And this is actually like new to me. I haven't followed a lot of early access stuff. I saw Arma when it came out most recently. DayZ was a big thing, and I've seen a couple of others, but I've never bought them. I've never jumped into it firsthand. But apparently, a game has already been halted and not canceled. But Towns was halted, and it's going in via Steam Greenlight. And then Earth Year 2066 was outright removed last month, apparently due to dishonest marketing, which I didn't hear anything about. That's very interesting. But apparently, like these are I don't want to say reactive changes, but they're certainly happening after the fact. There's already precedent for this kind of a problem, and now it's in Steam's official information. So take that as you will.
Game Guru in our chat over at live.vognetwork.com says, paying for a broken game, sigh, but if that's what people want, ... It's your money, spend it on what you want, right?
Yep.
All right, so hopefully you're getting an accurate portrayal of what your money is going to buy. I think that's a very important thing to know. Anyhow, Dark Sakura.
One other point about what money controls is money controls things like layoffs, which Nintendo has decided to consolidate their European operations, and they're laying off 130 employees. Now, keep in mind, for some people, that's a small town. So they said that they're closing the headquarters in Gossostheim. I guess I pronounced that right because I know what the little B sign is. It's a S. It's an extra S. Anyway, that's in Germany, and is moving their operations to Frankfurt. So they're losing 130 employees. Not so permanent.
Huh. Nintendo has more offices in Europe than just Germany, though, right?
Yeah, this is just one office, but I mean, it almost seems to me like it's the start of something else. So,
well,
take it as you will.
It's unfortunate, but with some of these sales we're seeing and so forth, it's not surprising that something's happening somewhere. But yeah, I mean, again, this is a very important year for Nintendo. They've got to really start making some of that money back on Wii U. Mm-hmm. So it really should have been last year, but Nintendo has tons of cash on hand. Let's not forget that. They got tons and tons of cash on hand. So what
happened to it prints money?
That's why they have cash in hand.
That's why they have cash on hand. But the 3DS is, it's probably not doing. I think the reason why some people think the 3DS is disappointing is because you have the ever-growing mobile market and so forth, but B, it's not meeting expectations. But I think the expectations were set really, really high to try to offset what's going on with the Wii U. But for all practical purposes, it seems like the 3DS is still doing very well. A lot of people own them, and the game is still making a lot of games for them. Seems to be in a better spot right now than the Vita, and I'm not really dogging on the Vita. I realize there's a lot of great games out on the Vita and so forth, but it's not exactly nearly as rampant as the 3DS adoption is. So, anyhow. All right, let's travel around the world and check out release dates. Let's see what is coming out soon from a company you love. Although with the 3-week, probably most of it isn't really announced, but we'll see what is on deck anyway. Loki.
Not a whole ton of stuff coming out this week. We've got Enemy Front on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and How to Train Your Dragon 2 on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, and 3DS. That is it.
All right, let's go to Japan and check out what is coming out there in the Japanese release dates. On June 12th on the PlayStation 4, Thief gets its Japanese release from Square Enix on June 12th. Fighting Commander 4 also coming out on the PlayStation 4 on June 12th. Nothing for Xbox One because remember that isn't out in Japan yet. Very interesting. I'm very curious. That was almost like a runner-up for me. How is Microsoft going to get into the Japanese market there at E3? All right, Shane walked into the studio and is dying to say something here. What?
I have breaking news.
Okay, what?
Can I borrow your phone charger?
Couldn't you text me that or something?
No, his phone's dead.
It's gonna die soon.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can borrow my phone charger. Oh my God, was that really worth interrupting the show for?
Yes.
You jerk! Get out of here. All right, moving. Moving, it's in my room. You want to brave that? Give me a minute and I'll come get it. All right. On the PlayStation 3, it's probably over by where Alan's underwear is, but I'll let him figure that out on his own. All right. On the PlayStation 3, Fighting Commander 4 on June 12th. One Piece Unlimited World R, as well as Ratchet & Clank Ginga Saikyo TriStar Pack. It looks like a compilation there on the PlayStation 3 this week. And Thief, also making its way to the PlayStation 3 all this week on the 12th. On the Xbox 360, Thief gets its release there in Japan. And on the PlayStation Vita, One Piece Unlimited World R from Bandai Namco, as well as EU Densetsu Ano Kisuke Evolution from Falcom comes out as well. And last but not least, I'm going to check the Wii U to see if anything is out this week on the Wii U. One Piece Unlimited World R is there as well. And I can't forget the Nintendo 3DS, except they are not actually having any releases this week. But Pac World is slated for June 19th, so there's that. And Pokemon Art Academy, speaking of those Art Academy games, but that's all on the 19th. All right, moving on to Europe, Dark Sakura.
There's some stuff coming out in Europe, and for a moment, my system has been slow. So you ready? On
Yes.
the 13th of June, we have Inazuma 11 Go Shadow and Light. Sprid Tires, I guess, on PC. Enemy Front on Xbox 360, PS3, and on PC. That looks to be about it. A general lack of stuff.
And since Rob and Shane are now braving the depths of the scary, scary bedroom, I will just go ahead and say that Loki has the news story.
Yeah, of course. So this is kind of disappointing, especially when it turns into lawsuits. But apparently the composer for the Halo series and now the upcoming Destiny game, Martin O'Donnell, is suing Bungie because apparently he was fired without cause, according to his claim. And due to that, he was not paid his, accrued time off, the unused vacation, paid time off, sabbatical time, and other benefits that they had promised to pay him. And now, because of this, I guess he is seeking twice the amount of withheld wages along with compensation to cover legal fees. And I guess also filing another grievance against both the CEO, Harold Ryan, and Bungie, but I guess they haven't really said what that is over, and I don't know, it doesn't really say. So he has another grievance, but it doesn't really say what it's for, I guess separate from the whole paid time off thing. So
Well, when you leave
Still pretty crappy.
when you leave a company, you are supposed to get all that time off. So
yeah, and apparently he says, like most companies, they have, a policy based on that stuff that they are supposed to be paying that stuff out. So,
All right. Well, we'll see what develops in court. But like most things, it'll probably be settled out of court and then with a gag order. So we'll never hear about it again. All right. One thing you're still going to hear about, and you're going to hear plenty about it next week, I'm sure, is Mortal Kombat X was officially announced. Now, I want to point out, unlike when we had Final Fantasy X-2, which a lot of people mistakenly called Final Fantasy X2, this is Mortal Kombat X, not 10, and that's per the Twitter of, I believe it was Ed Boon that came out and actually
but isn't
said
it
that.
the 10th game? So
It is, but so calling it Mortal Kombat 10 is not necessarily wrong, but they are going to be marketing the game as Mortal Kombat X, which I could also. But you see, with a game like Mortal Kombat, you think like extreme or like extreme violence or whatever. So it makes sense. But anyway,
extremely toasty.
Mortal Kombat X was officially announced this week, to no one's surprise, because you remember on last week's show we were talking about that, the posters were spotted and we knew this was coming. There was a countdown to a countdown. Well, the official trailer hit, and it was Sub-Zero and Scorpion fighting with some little rap music.
What? They're going to be in the game?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so shocking.
That was playing in the background. And while I'm watching this trailer, all I can hear is my mom in the back of my head. Rob, that is gross. That is a gross game. Because, it's on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So we're watching, and it looks like the X-ray attacks are back, but it doesn't, fade to black now. You kind of see that in real time. And that whole little thing where, he freaking decapitated Sub-Zero at the end or something and put the spear through his head, it was very, very explicit. And I was like, that is... But that is gross. The whole thing, Ed Boon, that is gross.
Well, the whole thing was CG, but I'm assuming that it's going to be based off of what the actual gameplay is like. So if that's the case, then it looks like they have the environment attacks that they had in Injustice, which is kind of cool. And then what was I going to say? I don't know. I don't like the whole CG trailer thing, and I really didn't like the music choice for that trailer. It was just very off-putting.
What did you want? Techno? You want the old Mortal Kombat?
Yes! Yes, it's exactly what I wanted. Come on. I mean, dude, you had a perfectly good theme song. You don't need to change it up. If you want to go cliche with it, you could have a little bit of, bass, have a drop in there or something like that. But have it be the fucking original, the original movie theme. Was it the movie or the game theme? It wasn't the game theme. It was
made for the movie
theme. Yeah.
Anyhow, and Act F says, I don't think the trailer music should be any indication of the music in the game. I agree with that. It never is.
But no, it is because it says, that's the artist, and it was a special song by that artist in the game. So that song is in the game.
Really? Huh. Interesting. I wonder if they're going like EA soundtrack style with it or something. Warner Brothers does have a record label.
I suppose.
Be interesting.
But they really need the original one. Or just mix it up,
Tiger Claw agrees with you in our chat room, saying they could have done something like a dubstep of the original MK Techno song. Mortal Kombat. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I would like that. I would find that.
What Up G says that Ed Boon says, wait till you see Scorpion's second fatality. Oh, God, I can only imagine. Alan Alchemy in our chat room says, I wouldn't mind a proper sequel to the reboot from 2 years ago. It was really good in the story narrative from there. The story only covered Mortal Kombat 3 and a little bit of 4. I'm not sure. But Mortal Kombat 4 is kind of where I think a lot of people felt the series started to kind of decline a little bit. So I'm kind of curious as to how they'd want to retell some of that. Although I would like Tanya to come back. I like playing as her on Mortal Kombat 4. But rumor that's brewing right now is that you're going to have variations of the same character. So you'll have 3 Scorpions, and it's not talking like Cyber Scorpion and Scorpion. It's just you'll have these distinctive little changes within the characters. That could be interesting.
They just have to rip off Mario Kart, don't they? Jeez.
custom carts that your Mortal Kombat characters ride in. Oh, there we go. Village Idiots Matt in our chat says, are we really going to panic about the music? The video is fucking sweet. Yeah, I think the music... I like music in a video game, don't get me wrong, but... I don't think that's the only song that's going to be in the game. And even if I maybe didn't like it personally, at the end of the day, I could always mute it and play my own thing. So, do the consoles let you do custom soundtracks anymore? Actually, come to think of it.
I don't know.
I don't remember if the new ones
features
let you do
that should be in there. They're just hey, you guys, I know you liked an on-off switch. We just added that in.
Well, I guess it shows you how often I actually use that feature, so maybe I shouldn't be complaining about it. All right. Anyhow, let us take a trip back. We're going to go back in time a little bit. We're going to go back in time to when you couldn't have a full CD soundtrack in your video games. You couldn't do that. You had bleeps.
You could.
You had bleeps and bloops, and you liked it. Oh, is this game a little newer where you could have the CD?
No, it's not. But you could. But back in the day, even 20 years ago, we had CDs.
I suppose with your 10-year rule, we did have the whole Symphony of the Night's over 10 years old, right? So there you go.
Well, even 20 years ago, we still had CD music.
Fair enough, but I get prepped on what game you've picked, and I know this is a bleep bloop game.
I was 6 years old, Rob. 6.
6 years old. All right. Dark
You probably
Soccer,
couldn't see over the edge of the cabinet.
which sadly means most of our listeners probably weren't born.
Well, damn it, they need to play it.
All right.
Because fuck your age limitations.
What is the game of the week already, Dark Soccer?
Pango. I did this one just for you, Rob.
I love Pango. It's one of my
Dan
favorites.
suggested it too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Pango is a red penguin. Why he's a fucking red penguin in the Arctic, I have no idea. Antarctic, I mean. So anyway, you play on an overhead maze and you have ice blocks. And Pango has to fight the snow bees. These green blobby things.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
Snow bees, Rob. Snow bees.
Oh, okay.
And you have to basically eliminate all the snow bees. And steal bonuses and 3 different diamonds that are dispersed throughout the maze. So it's a joystick button game. You know, you can actually shake the walls to paralyze snow bees and then run over them and get points. You have 16 levels and they repeat once you reach the 17th. Basically, when you kill different snow bees on the ways, new ones will hatch from eggs that are within some of the ice blocks. Some of the blocks that have the eggs will flash at the start of the level, but you have to have really good memory to remember that. You can get rid of the eggs by crushing the box that they're in. And then, like I said, Pango can push a sidewall that can vibrate and stun a snow bee, and then they get 100 points for walking over them. When all the snow bees are gone, you go on to the next level. You have diamond blocks that are unbreakable. And if they are collected in a horizontal or vertical line, then you get an extra 10,000 points if they are aligned without being next to a wall, and 5,000 if they are against a wall. They also, by aligning them, will temporarily stun all snow bees. After 60 seconds go by without any deaths, the game goes into sudden death, where the music tempo and the snow bees get faster, and basically the snow bee gets to live and you have to start over.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah. There is an Easter egg that in the attract mode, if you push 2 joysticks up and press 2 action buttons and 1 button of start game, it will show the credits for the game, and then the game will reset. You can actually stop the waiting by pressing the start 1 button. So yeah, you get different points for killing different things, and it has intermissions. It has 6 intermissions every even-numbered round. They have 6 penguins that are doing dancing or marching around or shaking their booty in one of them. The third one, the penguins stop and salute. The fourth one, the penguins face the player and then exit the screen in a line, kind of like the aliens in Space Invaders. The fifth one, Pango is revealed to be playing a cocktail table by himself. And in the 6th version, Pango appears from behind the cocktail table playing peekaboo. And then it repeats. So there were different versions of Pango, and some of them had different music. Now, this very first one here used Popcorn as the theme music, and it took a little while to draw the maze at the start of the game. The second one had original music and faster maze drawing. So, of course, the second version was also harder. So you had Pango, which is Pango Set 1 Revision C, that played Popcorn. And then Pango 2, Pango 2U, Pango 3U, and Pango 4. Pango 4 being the fastest and hardest. It was fast and hard. So there's been many, many versions. We've had versions on the Atari 2600, 5200, which I have the 5200 version, Atari 8-bit, Commodore 64, and the Game Gear. Then Bandai Electronics did 2 Sega licensed handhelds of Pango. One was an LCD pocket game, the other one was a tabletop version. There was Pepenga Pango that came out on the Sega Master Drive in Japan, which I need to have this now. And then there were some clones. There was Pengi for the BBC Micro and Acorn Electron. And Capcom did one called Don't Pull, which was part of 3 Wonders, which I think I've reviewed 3 Wonders before. that was a Pango clone.
Hijmaru is really similar to this, too.
Higemaru.
Is that it? Sorry, Higemaru is really similar to this.
Yeah. There were other remakes that came out. There was an 8-player version, too, in 2010 that was on location test at Sega Shinjuku Nishiguchi that was there in 2012. May 2012. Then Club Sega Akibara Shinkan did another one in July that was a 4-game compilation that was called Genshin Love plus Pango. And so then there were just all kinds of different other versions. And then that compilation one came out on the Xbox 360 as Genshin Love plus Pango. As far as the highest Pango score, according to Twin Galaxies, which whoopty shit, Rodney Day of Canberra, Australia, has the world record of Pango with 1,110,370 points since August 13th, 1983, and no one has broken it since. Also, Pango makes a cameo appearance in Up and Down. If a player manages to pass the first 4 rounds in less than a minute each, he will appear in the water of round 5 riding a surfboard. The Pango will.
You know, I played a game back when I was super young that was an awful lot like this, but had slightly different mechanics. It was an old DOS game, predominantly black and white. It was called Pango, Pango. Its theme was also popcorn. You had a shooting mechanic, and it also had a gravity mechanic, so if you built up to a boulder, it would come down and squash the enemy. Which, hell, if I can even remember what the enemies were, but this is striking a lot of familiar feelings for a game that I haven't played in literally 2 decades.
Oh my god, Rob, if you still have it, you totally need to play the Raver's Choice.
Volume 4 from
Volume
DDR.
4 from DDR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Break.
That's actually one of the many reasons why we all learn about popcorn in our youth, because it was just everywhere. It was, the traditional...
Which I believe was my first 8.
I
was
don't
it
even
7?
remember how hard that game was.
But I mean,
that song was.
You heard Dark Sakura talking there about like how many freaking clones and stuff there were. So it doesn't surprise me at all that whatever computer you were playing on probably had this.
Yeah, it was an old school straight up PC. Like I'll call it a bootleg because it wasn't a direct copy. Like I said, the character was a car, not a penguin. I don't remember what the enemies were, but I'm pretty sure they weren't living things. Traditionally living things, but yeah, it was a great game. I'm not entirely sure how I missed Pango.
All right, is that it then? Your classic game of the week, courtesy
Pango.
of Sega.
Pango Pen.
And actually,
although I think that the name Pepanga Pen is Pango is actually pretty funny.
Watching the guy play that game kind of hurt me a little bit because he wasn't crushing the ice blocks that had the eggs in them.
Yeah, I had one that was better than this guy. It was really
That's
good.
Right.
But the at the second round, the music was replaced with a remake.
Oh,
with like an OC remix and then another one. I was like, nah, I want the music.
Yeah.
So
we need authenticity here.
If you look up Pango playthrough or something, you'll find the really good one first.
Surprising that with all the Sega circle jerk we see, we don't usually see this game show up with all their remakes. Although I want to say it did show up in that Sonic collection.
Did it tell you that the
unlock
version at the one they had at Pasquale's finally died?
Oh,
I think we beat it into submission.
Oh, well.
That was the only place that I knew of in town that still had a working Pango.
Rest in peace. All right, we're going to take a break, guys. When we come back, there is plenty more Orange Lounge Radio to come on this, the eve of E3 2014, including in our next segment, Listless. We haven't done a Listless since last year. We did one at the end of the year for our 2014 predictions.
Yeah, it's about time.
So, yeah, it's high time we bring some OLR games back.
The Prequel show is perfect for that.
If you have started listening to OLR this year, you've never You've never heard an OLR game.
I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry if you just started listening this year.
I know you got 500 episodes to catch up on. Get to it. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, plenty more of Orange Lounge Radio. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio, live on this Sunday night, June the 8th, on the eve of E3. Now, I imagine there's got to be some of you guys that are going to be listening to this at work, later in the week or whatever. I don't know if our Monday crowd will still be listening because, with the press conferences going on, but it'll be really funny that there'll be all this news out there, and you'll get to see what was right and what was wrong. It's always funny to kind of take a look back.
One of those being wrong,
plenty.
of course, that, The Last Guardian's not canceled. IGN?
Well, actually, it just came in. Somebody had sent me this. I'm sorry, I forgot who sent me this tweet about this. I think this went to the Twitter. Oh, for OLR, Reddertainment just sent this. IGN actually issued an official apology for that article in the first place. Steve Butts, who is, I guess, that's his name, who I guess is the editor-in-chief over at IGN, basically said, I made the call to post this. I had credible information. Obviously, the Twitter post makes that it was an error, and basically we retract the story and kind of went into this whole no one cur about how it happened. So there it is. So IGN did officially apologize for that. So we'll see.
I guess if it was Polygon making that mistake, they would be filming a documentary about how they made that mistake.
And then they would be engaging in Twitter spats with people about how they're right. Well, we'll talk about a little bit of that later. All right. Let's get into some rapid fire news and quickly talk about a few other things going on in the game industry before E3. Although I have to ask, Dark Sakura, before the show tonight, you brought me like a big bag of, it was British candy, right?
From our friend Robert in England.
All right. Well, thanks, Robert, for the candy. You get me on a sugar high here before.
He sent a bunch of stuff. A lot of it, I've been trying to share the wealth, and I had it ready to bring the week we didn't do a show, and then I forgot it last week.
You know what I'm hooked on that I need to get me some of is HP sauce.
You can get it easily. They sell it at Safeway.
I know, but I need to get me some of that.
You know what's better than HP sauce?
I was at Safeway today.
Daddy's sauce. It actually is the brand is Daddy's, not Daddy's sauce.
I'll get both.
All right. There it is.
Go get it at Touch of Britain in North Highlands. Trust me. And then have food there.
Look at our chat room at live.vognetwork.com. SSG100 Matt says, Horde House always gets me into trouble whenever I listen via podcast. You're welcome. SSG100 Matt also says they're apologizing, IGN, because they don't want to get kicked out of Nintendo's after party at E3. Wouldn't that be Sony's, though? I don't know. Alan Alchemy in chat says, God, you're so mature. Alan Alchemy says, Steve Butts of IGN went on record as saying, grow up.
I read that differently, Rob. Or that is,
grow the F up. Oh, my God. All right.
I was just trying to stick with the syllables he put in there.
Let's move on with some rapid fire news. Loki.
Now what we need now is some sort of, mashed up song with girls' butts about their whole mistake, called Steve Butts. Yeah. Anyways. Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, finally got its reveal this week, or at least an extended reveal, which they announced the release date, February 24th, 2015. It'll be coming out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC in both retail and digital formats, of course, on GOG Games or GOG.com, obviously. I'll be there. And then this is kind of exciting. Crytek announced, or I should say Deep Silver announced that Crytek's going to be doing the sequel to Homefront. So Homefront: The Revolution, that's going to be coming out sometime in 2015, also on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And I'm pretty excited about that because the original game looked pretty cool, and be curious to check out the new one when it comes out eventually. So I'm sure that's going to be something we'll see at probably E3.
Probably. Jason?
All right, the news we have all been waiting for. Harmonix has finally given a release date to Disney Fantasia Music Evolved.
Some people are looking forward to it.
It looks like Harmonix's touch on things is very much in line with mine, and I am very much looking forward to this game. They have officially dated Disney Fantasia Music Evolved for October 21st to be released on the Xbox One and Xbox 360. Disney Fantasia explores the vivid imagery and music of Disney's symphonic film, but with a modern spin and a conductor-like wave of the arm in front of Kinect. So the much, and they've actually, I remember, I don't know if we've reported on it every single time, but every single time that Harmonix has a reveal for this for this game, more and more of the soundtrack is revealed. And it's always seemed a little weird to me because they're always very modern, and I wouldn't even call them poppy songs in most cases, but at any rate, they have good songs going into it. And the reveal that accompanied this announcement on this turn was a new level, the neighborhood, a new world, rather, the neighborhood, a surreal glimpse of 1980s New York with a pastel sky bursting behind skyscrapers. And the songs announced are MIA's Galang and The Who's The Real Me. For all of you importing fans out there, Retro Game Challenge 2, the fan translation of Game Center CX2, has arrived. Done by Aaron in Japan, as everybody knows him as. Aaron.
Well, not everybody, but the people who maybe started with Bomani and stuff probably remember that name.
The DDR crew, as it were, knows Aaron. The last name that I have never been able to pronounce successfully as Aaron in Japan. And not just text, but graphics as well, so that any Japanese symbology that isn't just straight up words have been translated into English. Go forth and enjoy it, because these games are quite fun.
This is great that the community went to get this game translated. A real missed opportunity to not put this game out. I mean, I understand maybe the first one didn't do so hot, but it was such a cute little game, and people I think really missed out by not checking it out. So I'm glad people get to. I wish people could have got to do this the legal way, but desperate times.
Like everything else, well, they brought it. They did bring it here. So I'm pretty sure that licensing has a huge amount to do with this, because I would imagine that the TV station that airs Game Center CX has large claims to it and probably has high licensing, likeness, something rights to it.
Yeah,
so,
but
the legalities, whatever.
Right.
But it's here, and everybody can import and hack their legitimate copy to play it in English.
Sure. All right, lastly, Dark Sakura for rapid fire news.
Well, there is some news about an actual TV series, more like a short interactive TV show that's going to be on Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PS4 in November. It's called Rabbids Invasion, the interactive TV show. So it's a CG animated show that's based off of the Rabbids, and it will require a Kinect or PlayStation camera and lets you do little mini games like matching poses or egg fights or stuff like that, and it's up to 4 players at a time, so that's kind of neat. And there is something I'm kind of excited about. It's the Marathon Gamers, if anyone hasn't heard of them. It's a group of friends who have a small charity organization who will be doing the Summer Marathon of Friendship to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The group actually is from Huntsville, Alabama, so that's why I kind of have a big interest in them. It's a 48-hour marathon gaming session on June 20th on Stitch. So they're going to be playing Left 4 Dead, Mario Party, all kinds of games, and you can contribute. It will start June 20th at 2 p.m. Central Time, and you can join it on twitch.tv /marathon_gamers. Or you can go to marathongamers.org and check them out. Please, 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 please help them out, because they're doing a great thing.
All right. Excellent. I like giving shout-outs to the charity streams. Lots of good stuff out there.
And they're from my home state.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's get into, we've been hyping this up all night. It is time for us to bring back the segment known as Listless. All right, here is the way that Listless works. It's been a little while since we played this game, so I'm going to explain the rules one more time here, okay? We are going to put together, as a highly scientific method for us to determine the definitive list. Once we've put this together, there is no arguing with it. It's done. It's definitive. We've compiled it. You voted on it. It's done. And yes, you will have a chance to vote on the list and help make this a possibility. Head on over to live.vognetwork.com if you wish to play. Those of you that listen on the podcast feed, I'm sorry, you can't play for now, but we are looking at, in the next year, expanding this segment so that you can actually vote during the week as well, but that'll be later on. So for tonight, just the live chatters getting to participate in Listless. Not Piss Kaijudo. Listless. Listless. Okay, here's how it works. Tonight we're going to have 5 people in studio, and we are all going to compile the first list. And we do that by naming our top 3. So we'll have 5, and we'll take that up to 15. Then comes round 2, where we all vote something off the list. Now remember, in the upgraded Listless rules that we did last year for 2.0, if a host has 2 answers removed from the list, the third one gets immunity. That way nobody's list gets completely decimated. So we will each eliminate one answer.
And also in case of a tie. It wasn't there in case of a tie. The host's choice that wasn't picked gets the break.
You're
the tie.
thinking of the cage
Oh,
match.
you're right. I am thinking cage match.
You're throwing it way back. That's right.
That's right.
It's been a little while. All right. So anyway, so with and they were talking in chat that it sounds like list, like a like or something in Zelda. No, that's the joke. That's the joke, you guys. It's a joke. All right. Anyway, Crystal Waters, I love you, but I'm going to take your volume down there a minute. Let's see. What else do I need to say about this? So we're up to 10, and then you guys over at live.vognetwork.com are going to get to vote for your top 2 answers. You're just going to click them. It's going to pop up right there on the screen. You click your number 1, you click your number 2, and then you submit, and there it is. We compile the votes and read the answers here a little later on the show. So let's get to it. All right, Crystal, you can come back now that we're ready to actually start making this list. So let's put it up on the board. The question tonight, what are we most looking forward to at E3 2014? We're going to put that up on the board, and those of you over at live.vognetwork.com will be able to see that pop up on your screen. While we wait for that to pop up, we're going to introduce who's playing along tonight. Of course, Techmaster Loki. And Loki, celebrities on game shows always are promoting something. So what are you promoting tonight?
I'm promoting. I don't know. Promoting
apathy.
Apathy.
All right. Apathy, people of America. Loki's promoting apathy. All right, fair enough. Dark Sakura, of course, is here tonight participating as well. Dark Sakura, what are you promoting tonight?
Flatulence. She is promoting
Flatulence. All right, there it is. All right. Dark Sakura is here as well. I am here as well, and in good Rob Roberts fashion, I'm promoting myself. Twitter.com/SKIE if you wish to follow me on the Twitter Z's. Also joining us tonight in studio is Jason.
I'm promoting the Melancholy Awareness Association of America.
Oh, are you a sad panda?
Sure.
All right.
For their sake, I am.
All right. And last but not least, joining us in studio, speaking of apathy. Oh, my God. All right, say hello, everybody, to Shane.
Hello.
Hi, Shane.
Hi.
This is why I have you take Jamie's mic. I can actually hear you on that one. How are you?
I'm fine.
And what will you be promoting tonight?
I'm going to promote the charity Pediatric AIDS. We give babies AIDS.
What? That's not even funny.
I thought it was.
No, it's not.
Look at these people in here. They're laughing.
It's awkward
He
laughter
means
because you're
AIDS as
weird.
in, assistants.
Yeah.
Butlers.
Duh. We give them puppies and walkers. What were you thinking?
A 70s diet drug, clearly. All right, let's let's get into building the list. We're going to create the definitive list with the top answers. Let's start with Jason. What is your first answer for the board?
Oh, of course you had to start with me. I've been wrenching this last 5 minutes trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to say. Well, I need at least another... What? Oh, hopefully we steal all 5 of those so you have this agony.
You all can give your answers along in chat as well over at live.vognetwork.com if you want to help out the hosts by putting some answers up on the board. live.vognetwork.com.
Because we have to pay this one forward, I will go with, despite the fact that they have no official show floor presence, Valve will bust through the arena, interrupting somebody else's keynote, Kanye style, and Half-Life 3. Go get it.
Sorry for the awkward silence. I'm writing it down. Hold on. All right, there it is. So Valve will Kanye interrupt a keynote with Half-Life 3. So you are basically just totally swiping Bobby's winning answer from last year.
That's not cool,
is what
man.
you're doing.
Yeah, well, like
Yeah.
I said, I'm
All right,
paying
we're
it
gonna
forward. I'm paying it forward, damn it.
We're going to start
Paying
that
it
way.
forward, plagiarizing. Yeah,
All right.
that's the same thing.
Fine.
That's what I'm going to say from now on. Oh, yeah, plagiarize that. I mean, paid it forward.
We'll put it up on the board and see how that goes. Shane, your number 3 answer.
Okay, so I totally wrote down 5 things because I thought it was 5 for some reason. So I will say my number 3 is Microsoft realizes we need a new Alan Wake fix and puts a show in production for their dumb Xbox One TV show initiative. Kind of like Twin Peaks, because that's what that game really is.
So an Alan Wake TV show on Xbox One, essentially. All right, let's put that up on the board. That's a nice, non-offensive, good answer from you. I like that. All right. Alan Wake TV show on Xbox One. All right. Let's go now over to Dark Sakura. Dark Sakura, the lovely Dark Soccer, with her number 3 answer.
I'll get a Mass Effect sticker. I'll bring it back for you.
Is your mic off, Dark Soccer? I don't know why.
Yeah, Shane turned my mic off. Thank you, Shane.
All right, so Dark Soccer's
Mass
answer
Effect anything.
was Mass Effect anything.
But you know what I would really like? An HD remix of the first 3.
There's those rumors.
Without having to use mods like I've already done. I pretty much already play Mass Effect HD remix, just saying.
Fair enough. All right, Mass Effect anything is up there on the board. There it is. Let's go over to me. And my number 3 answer. My number 3 answer tonight is the Microsoft Game Show's return. I'm talking 1 versus 100 and that stuff. Come on.
And you say mine was a gimme. Come on, Rob. Oh. Whatever. This is something you obviously quite want to see. You bring up a lot, so
yeah,
yes, it's relevant
I think
for you.
every Listless I talk about how I want to freaking that thing to happen there.
Not that every episode.
All right, Microsoft's Game Show's return. I'm putting that up on the board. All right, Loki, last but not least, with your number 3 answer tonight.
Well, I could say something serious, but what fun would that be? So, I came up with the chat room earlier, it's going to be Red Dead Revolution, or Red Dead Redemption Cross Midnight Club. It's drift horses with neons.
Hey, I'd play that a couple rounds at least.
Red Dead Redemption Cross Midnight Club. So, drift racing with horses.
Old West drift racing.
Sort of like Wendy Okupa and that little carousel cart or whatever that is.
You just made a reference.
Except these horses are going to have thumping bass and undercarriage lights and all that fun stuff.
All right, fine. There it is. It's up on the board there. Red Dead Redemption Cross.
And Vin Diesel's going to have a cameo because why not?
Why not? Why not? All right, let's go to the number 2 answers. Jason. Yeah, everybody do it.
Remember, I started with all the agonizing.
All right,
fair answer.
Jason.
No, there is actually one legitimate one.
All right,
at least one. I still have to think of a good number 1. Hello. Google's acquisition of Twitch confirmed with bonuses, with unforeseen things that were not announced in the deal. The reason why all this is taking place, and not just, hey, Twitch, move into our data centers. Yes, Google, the acquisition, as was rumored, 2 weeks ago, and then just disappeared, finalizes with new features to come as part of it.
All right, so I'm going to throw that up on the board as Google Twitch acquisition confirmed with perks.
Exactly.
All right,
correct. There
there it is. You talk about safe answers. All right. Let's.
I actually don't think. In reality, I actually don't think that's a very safe answer. But
all right, well, we'll see. All right, going to Shane's number 2 answer. Shane, what is your number 2 answer?
My number 2 answer is giving the fans what they want. Konami announces they're done ruining Silent Hill.
And that's it. There's no new game. There's no actual game. It's just an apology. It's just you know what? We're done.
Yeah, they're not going to make any more.
All right, they're going to take it out back and shoot it.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. They're just let Pyramid Head cut it up. There it is.
But we're proud to announce Silent Hill Lords of Sirens, the spin-off game. Straight up action.
Konami announces they are done ruining Silent Hill. There it is. Shane's number 2 answer. Dark Soccer, your number 2 answer, please.
X Tango returns.
That's an amazing X Tango, one of the games we saw many years ago that never happened. Nothing ever happened with it.
It was fun.
It was a music game where you would put in commands and the characters would tango.
It was great.
It was great, yeah. Whatever happened to it? The internet. You know what? If that game was around today, it would have had a Kickstarter.
Let's kickstart X Tango.
All right.
I will do this shit. You'd watch. And
All
then
right.
it will sell 1 million copies.
Time for my number 2 answer. My number 2 answer. Okay, I'm gonna go like really crazy talk with this. This is fanboy wank. Everybody get your splash zone.
F-Zero and just finish it wrong.
Nope. Worse. Okay, get your plastic tarp over your head for the splash zone wank that's about to happen. You ready? All right. So here's the thing. The Wii U is going to go online in a big way. And I'm not just talking about like the Dragon Quest X game we've been waiting for. The reason why Phantasy Star Online 2 has been delayed, Wii U exclusive. Phantasy Star Online 2, Wii U exclusive. Oh, the people in the room seem receptive to that. I thought you'd all boo me for that answer.
Boo!
I mean,
why are you booing me?
It's wank, but let's not say that's a bad
That'll
idea.
never happen. Although, I mean, I guess if they have any chance of an MMO coming to them, it coming from Sega, because for some reason Sega loves Nintendo, ironically.
Why not? Sega and Nintendo are kind of in bed together. It would make a lot of sense. If Nintendo really wants to come all out there and be like, bam, we're online, that would do it.
And then Microsoft and Sony be like, bam, we're online with motherfucking Destiny, which is way better than that fucking game.
Not for everybody, though. Is Anna Banana Chan in Destiny? I don't think so. Nobody's going to understand that joke. All right.
Could be if you name your character.
Shane understood it. All right. Loki, last but not least, your number 2 answer.
Okay. Sticking with my completely serious answers here, I would love to see just an unusual announcement coming from any of the big 3, I guess, of President Cat 2, prepare for Kittenfall.
Oh, that's good. President Cat 2, prepare for Kittenfall. And what's the general synopsis of President Cat 2?
It's just mech suits and kittens and everything that the internet loves, all wrapped in the one nice package. It's got the casual angle, it's got the hardcore angle, it's got cats.
All right. Here is the board so far. Valve, will Kanye interrupt a keynote with Half-Life 3? Alan Wake TV show on Xbox One. Mass Effect anything. Microsoft's game shows return. Red Dead Redemption cross Midnight Club. Google's Twitch acquisition confirmed with perks. Konami announces they are done ruining Silent Hill. X-Tango returns. Phantasy Star Online 2 Wii U exclusive. And President Cat 2, prepare for Kittenfall. Man, the elimination round tonight's going to suck. These are all really good answers, but we still have one more set of answers to put up on the board. Jason, what is your number 1 answer?
So far as I know, I don't recall if this developer has a booth, and I don't know that I've heard any specific news about it. Mighty Number 9 playable at E3 on the show floor.
Mighty Number 9.
Sitting next to the Capcom booth. Nice.
Mighty Number 9 playable at E3 in a tiny tent next to the Capcom booth. I like that. All right. Well, we'll see. Anything's possible. There it is. Mighty Number 9 playable at E3, and that's Jason's list. All right. Shane, what is your number 1 answer?
It's a little long. You can condense it easily, though, I'm sure. Sony and Take-Two announced a partnership to bring a PS4 version of BioShock Infinite to Project Morpheus for amazingly fun virtual rail swinging.
Sony plus Take-Two
BioShock
3D
Oculus.
BioShock Infinite.
Bioshockulous.
Bioshockulous. But it's not Oculus. It's
Biomorpheus.
All right, Morpheus version of BioShock Infinite. That's probably the best way I can condense that. Any particular reason you went that route, Shane?
I really liked that game, and I didn't want to be too predictable tonight, so I did not talk about Elite Beat Agents, Pokemon, Mass Effect. I did talk about Silent Hill, but I killed it.
All right. All right, Dark Sakura, what did that is Shane's list. There it is. Dark Sakura, what is your number 1 answer?
A game that features an all-female cast not written with any misogynistic tendencies in mind, as in no hypersexualization, they're written intelligently, and don't need no man.
How the fuck am I supposed to condense that? Let's see. I'm going to put...
All female cast and credit developed video game.
No, because I have seen men that write women well. Brian Michael Bendis writes a very good woman, for example.
Murphy Brown, the video game.
No. That's bullshit. Non-sexist all-woman game. There we go.
What was that Fox sitcom back in like the late 90s?
I don't know. I don't watch that damn show.
I would not call that non-misogyny.
All right, all-female game with 0 misogyny. That was the best way I could condense that there. So I'm going to put that up on Dark Sakura's board.
And if anyone wants a good example, look at Claymore.
All right.
All women, no romantic subplot, none of that shit. It's not a chick flick show.
My number one, there it is. That's Dark Sakura's list. My number 1 answer is that what will happen is that finally, after all these years, it will be a Half-Life 3 teaser shown at E3. But then halfway through the teaser, GLaDOS interrupts it and says, "Oh, were you getting your hopes up?" and the 3 shifts into a Portal 3 logo. So GLaDOS.
Oh, that would piss everybody off.
GLaDOS. Valve trolls Valve is my answer, basically. Valve trolls Valve with a Portal 3 trailer.
How in the hell are you going to summarize that? GLaDOS turns Half-Life 3 into Portal 3, I guess.
That would be fantastic.
I just put Valve trolls Valve with Portal 3 trailer, and you guys already heard the rest of the answer there. All right, let's go to Loki, and dare I ask it, the last one on the list, your number 1 answer.
My number 1 answer, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything really great, and it's just cheesy. So I guess I will be somewhat serious. Even though, they haven't made the movies in a long-ass time, and the games weren't that great, I would love to see Rockstar do a new Matrix game. Because the version of, their game, The Warriors, was one of the best movie adaptation games I've ever seen. I would love, and The Warriors, I mean, that game came out way after the movie, obviously, so I would love to see him go back and, take over that franchise. That would be pretty fucking awesome.
So, turn a mediocre franchise into a really good one through a video game.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
I got it.
What?
Goonies. Oh, wait.
Too late. Too late. All right. There we go. Rockstar does a new Matrix game. So there it is. Here are the 15 answers up on the board. Valve will Kanye interrupt a keynote with Half-Life 3. Google Twitch acquisition confirmed with perks. Mighty No. 9 playable at E3. Alan Wake TV show on Xbox One. Konami announces they are done ruining Silent Hill. Morpheus version of Bioshock Infinite. Mass Effect Anything. X-Tango returns. All-female game with zero misogyny. Microsoft's game shows returns. Phantasy Star Online 2 Wii U exclusive. Valve trolls Valve with Portal 3 trailer, Red Dead Redemption Cross Midnight Club, President Cat 2, Prepare for Kittenfall, and Rockstar does a new Matrix game. This is an awfully big list. It's time to trim it up a little bit. This is going to be a very tough round tonight, but it is all part of the process, folks. And if you want to egg on the host, you should be shouting in chat right now. Which of these is not worthy of the list? Jason, you get the lovely distinction of going first, but that means you can take any one of these out that you want. Jason, which of these is not worthy of the list?
Oh, man. The jokes don't quite reach that bar as obvious dumb to get rid of, and all the serious ones are really, really good. This is a really hard decision, but I'm going to say just for plausibility and obvious and gimme, Mass Effect Anything.
Oh, all right.
Only because it's not a stretch. It's the only reason why.
All right, you want to keep us living in Wackyville. So all right, fair enough. So in Jason's quest to keep us living in Wackyville, sorry, Dark Sakura, but you're going to get Mass Effect Anything anyway. So all right, it is stricken from the list. Shane, which of these answers is not worthy of the list?
I'm sorry, Jason, but it's just past its reference time. The Kanye one with the Valve thing, that's years old.
Are you only stripping it because of the Kanye reference? That was his. No, it wasn't his edition.
No, you put.
Sorry, never mind. Okay.
Well, plus, we're not going to repeat last year, Jason. It's time for a new year, so I understand. If he didn't eliminate that one,
it's not over until it happens.
All right, so there it is. It's not worthy of the list. It has been stricken from the list. So Dark Sakura has the distinction of going next. Dark Sakura, which of these is not worthy of the list?
I'm actually going to take off the Alan Wake TV show.
Oh, an Alan Wake TV show. Why that?
Because I don't really like Alan Wake.
All right. It is stricken from the list. Sorry, Shane, but it wasn't going to happen anyway. All right. It is stricken from the list.
I like how these have been all tier 3 eliminations.
Yeah, it's been all tier. Well, let's see what happens because I'm going next. It's my turn to eliminate an answer. Oh God, this is hard. I'm going to break the trend here, and I'm unfortunately going to take a second answer off of somebody's list, and Jason, it's going to be you. I'm going to take Google's Twitch acquisition off the list.
Ouch,
just because
I'm offended.
It's not really game news.
You're completely safe.
It's a little. It's a little safe. It's kind of the same reason you took the Mass Effect thing off. It's a little safe, and I don't know. It's a little bit like that's.
With bonuses. They're gonna say something that's just really fantastic.
I know.
Oh, they're not an independent company.
But we're all running off the assumption it's already happening. That's my problem with it. So I'm sorry,
Perhaps
Jason.
I should have predicted that it won't come to pass.
All right. Well. But the good news, Jason, this means Mighty No. 9 playable at E3 has immunity. So there it is. So Loki, that out of the picture, which of the rest of these is not worthy? Loki's whole list is going to survive. I can't believe this. Loki, which of these is not worthy of the list?
Well, just because I don't know what else they possibly could show at E3, because, they only have what... I mean, granted, it is a pretty decent game, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Pro Evo, I guess, 2015. But I don't think that Konami is done ruining Silent Hill, considering that, there's all these popular, horror games coming out, especially in the indie scene. They're going to ruin that game until it stops making them any money. So, I think that there's going to be a next-gen Silent Hill game. I bet there will be. So
there will be.
Look at how
there'll be a third movie.
I want to point out, look at how we treat our guests on this show. Look at that. Shane's list also down to one answer with Morpheus version of BioShock Infinite. Dark Sakura gets through with par with only one of our answers getting eliminated. Myself and Loki unscathed. Imagine that. How the hell did that happen?
Well, it's like they said, Orange is the New Black. You guys take care of yourselves. Of your own.
I will say this. I was very tempted to go with the Red Dead Redemption Cross Midnight Club, but it seemed like too many chatters were really excited about that answer, so I didn't eliminate that.
Peer pressure.
All right, fine. All right, peer pressure. All right, so here it is. With those 5 eliminated from the list, we are left with the following. X Tango Returns, Mighty Number 9, playable at E3, Morpheus version of BioShock Infinite, all-female game with 0 misogyny. I almost took that off the list, too, only because... I'm sorry, Dark Sakura, it's not going to happen this year. It's sad, but it's one of those things that's like, it's a sad state of affairs. But let me put it this way. I'm looking on Twitter. Some people are at E3 and hanging out and all this stuff, and it's going on. And somebody has already overheard the phrase fucking FAGGOT already out on the show floor, walking around there. And I'm kind of like... And these are the same people that then go post on the comment sections of the websites. Why do we need a Gamer X? Or why do we need a safe space? Or why do we need this social movement? Or what? So, but it's not that I disagree with that answer. It's that, sadly, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Or as I like to say, not all men, but too damn many.
All right, but it is still on the list, so we'll see. Also, Microsoft's game shows return. Phantasy Star Online 2, Wii U exclusive. Valve trolls Valve with a Portal 3 trailer. Red Dead Redemption Cross Midnight Club. President Cat 2, prepare for Kittenfall. And Rockstar does a new Matrix game. So this is now in your hands, folks that are participating over at the Voice of Geeks Network, live.vognetwork.com. I'm updating the list right now. And in just a couple seconds here, you will be able to answer. So you're going to click on your number 1 and your number 2 choices there as soon as the message pops up at the bottom of the screen. And there it is. And so you can click your number 1 and your number 2 and click the answer button. We will compile the list and read the answers a little later on in the show. Looking at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, some other answers that didn't make it. VidPower says, funny/serious answer, Rare working on some non-Banjo-Kazooie 3 game. Let's see. Kaijudo, though, it does say Grand Theft Auto 6 with a female lead. Could be interesting. So there you go. Your turn to vote over at live.vognetwork.com. We will see what the definitive list ends up being tonight.
To be fair, Kaijudo, they actually did have, it wasn't a lead, but they had a pretty decent secondary character in Grand Theft Auto 4 that was a female. She was kind of like a drug boss, so that was kind of cool.
All right. And Kaijudo in chat also says, can I take them all off the list and start a new one? Sure. All you have to do is create your own blog. There you go. But as far as OLR list goes, nope, you're stuck with that. That's part of the scientific process. We don't always agree with science, Kaijudo, but we're stuck with it. So there you go. Let's now take this opportunity to go over to the Foogle question of the week. You take Facebook, you take Google, you slam it together, you get Foogle.
It's Radio Control.
We're going to ask a question of our Facebook and Google communities, and we're going to read some of our favorite answers right now on the show. And tonight's Google question of the week is, of course, about E3 and in line with what we just did. Give us one prediction for one of the big press conferences, Microsoft, EA, Ubi, Sony, or Nintendo. Try to be a little risky in your predictions, saying, I think Microsoft will talk about Halo isn't exactly going to impress everyone with your predicting ability. This is your last chance to make your big predictions, so you could be the guy, or gal, of course, who says, I called it, as people love to do on the internet later this week. because, you know, they're going to talk about Halo 5 and somebody's going to be like, totally called that. Totally called Halo 5, because there's always that guy, and it's like, no shit. All right.
Guys. It's going to be a new Call of Duty.
Oh, my God. Totally called it. All right. Going to some of our answers over there on Facebook and Google, starting with Facebook. Tiger Claw says, my prediction for Nintendo is going to be they reveal a brand new Star Fox for the Wii U, fully utilizing the gamepad touchscreen, reminiscent of Star Fox Command on the DS. So either that or a new Metroid game on Wii U that's a 2D side-scroller. So there you go. And then likes to insert that same answer about Gabe Newell and Half-Life 3 that already got eliminated from the list earlier. All right, let's go to the next answer, which is from Rob H., who says, fingers crossed, Rare comes back with a good Perfect Dark and an HD remake of Blast Core, free with Blast Core 2 on both 360 and Xbox One.
Oh, God, he is my new best friend. Oh, if there was a new Blast Core, I would buy whatever system it's on in a heartbeat, which I guess would be the one in this case.
Renee, our friend from Killer Queens from Outer Space, which, by the way, I was on episode 13 of that show, so check it out. Renee says, Square Enix announces more updates on Kingdom Hearts 3, revealing new worlds from forgotten animated features, such as the Black Cauldron, Song of the South, you're right, Song of the South, and the unforgettable Donald Duck's World War II propaganda cartoon. Wow. That's a pretty bold answer. Well, the Black Cauldron is, they at least have Disney pins for that. Fabrice A. replies on Facebook.
Wait, stop for a second. You know what would be hilarious is if they had... Oh, God, what the hell was that movie? Now I can't... Of course, now that I think it... I can't remember the name of the franchise, but... the Nicolas Cage movie where he's going and searching for the artifacts and stuff like that.
National Treasure?
National Treasure. Wasn't that a Disney movie? Wouldn't that be hilarious to have that as like a world that they go to?
A world of Nicolas Cage, absolutely.
Exactly.
All right, Fabrice A. replies and says, Microsoft announces another price drop for Xbox One and Xbox 360. Sony announces Shenmue 3. Wait a minute, that's quite flipping the script. I always thought it was supposed to be Microsoft that was supposed to have that. Burr replies and says, Sony announces Home 2.0 for PlayStation 4. I'd be curious to see if they would continue Home. You know, it certainly has its fans over on PlayStation 3. There's quite a vocal community over there. I'm kind of surprised they haven't done something on PlayStation 4 yet. So curious to see what happens with that. Fifth Dream replies and says, my predictions are Nintendo announces the long-awaited Pokemon MMO. Sony gives a release date for Project Morpheus, which arrives with the new VR Home. Microsoft announces Kinect 3.0, which looks suspiciously like a Power Glove. And Final Fantasy 15 gets a surprise release at the end of the week. Well, that's a little bit of a stretch, but wouldn't it be fun? Andy R. replies and says, Sega breaks back into the console biz with a new system available next Tuesday. Would be a very Sega thing to do. Dark Charger replies, Nintendo will finally adopt a subscription model for their classic games. Thank you. I like that answer. Ragenator says, Gabe Newell will walk on stage with a one last thing line, rips open a jacket to reveal a t-shirt with a 3 on it, then spikes the microphone, not simply drops it. Awesome Unicorn says, I really don't care what the announcement is, but I just want someone to pull a Beyonce, and Nintendo has shown a willingness to do that with their lesser titles, such as the surprise Inazuma 11 release. Can you imagine the insanity and sheer excitement of an announcement that Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS will be available on the eShop following their digital event? Again, that's really wishful thinking, but I think you hit the nail on the head with the whole like surprise kind of under the radar title. Anything's possible. Like something like Mario Maker is a prime candidate. I think, for a release like that.
It's not going to be on the eShop during the event. If anything, I'm guessing at this point, since we got a July announcement already of was it the Wii Sports Club thing, it's going to be August.
All right. And Hitstun, lastly, on Facebook says, Nintendo responds to fan feedback by bringing back Mario Kart 64's Block Fort in Smash Brothers. Trolls. I like that answer. All right, and going over to Google Plus and reading some of the answers over there. Why don't I see the answers over here? Hello, Google. Come in, Google. Where are my answers? Oh, there they are. Way down there. Hi. Let's get to the comments on this one. Colin M. replies and says, Nintendo announces a new minigame collection for the Wii U, possible Mario Party U. Well, Colin, with all due respect, that's a safe answer. A minigame collection on the Wii U? You don't say. All right, at least he throws a possible title out there. We'll see. More Mario, possibly. Act Deft replies and says, Nintendo adds streaming to the Wii U. Probably not happening, but wouldn't it be awesome? And with Nintendo's new revenue sharing thing for YouTube, it just might happen. I don't think that box is powerful enough. But you never know. You never know. It may not do HD, but maybe a virtual console, like a lounge where you can watch other people play virtual console games. They could do their own thing with it. They wouldn't necessarily have to adopt Twitch. Why not? If they
could backport replays, highlights into every other game.
If Xbox 360's game room technology allowed for the recording of playthroughs of classic video games, they could do it with Nintendo. It would take a clever workaround for the lower technology.
Even the 360 was more powerful than the Wii U.
It would take, the bad letter E for Nintendo, that E word being effort, and they don't do it.
All right. Redratainment last but not least with the question tonight saying, with the recent moves by Microsoft to make a previously premium app available to all without needing a gold subscription, Microsoft will need to announce something to make being a paid subscriber to Xbox Live worthwhile. That something is what I think Microsoft will announce. I don't quite know what that will be, but my gut is telling me something involving Comcast, Time Warner, and or DirecTV. Could you possibly be meaning their own channel? Because it seems to be the direction we're heading in right now, but we'll see. All right, that does it for the Google Question of the Week. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/orangeloungeradio, or on Google+, google.com/plus, Orange Lounge Radio, all one word. We still have some more gaming news for y'all, so let's get to it. Loki.
All right. So let's see. Mario Kart did pretty well. At launch, it sold over 1 million units, 1.2 million, during its debut week, and making that the fastest-selling Wii U game to date. So, of course, Reggie's pretty excited about that. They said, the early response to Mario Kart 8 demonstrates that the best days for Wii U are still ahead. This year's E3 is just days away, and it will be all about future games for Nintendo platforms. No shit! It's going to be about future games for Nintendo platforms? I thought they were going to be talking about the Xbox. That's the dumbest fucking statement he could make, but whatever. Hooray for Mario Kart 8. So,
By the way, this was the article that may have gotten me into a little bit of trouble on Twitter this week. I might have had a big-ass sassy mouth, and I might have written a tweet that my buddy Godfrey over at Gamertag Radio retweeted, and somebody over at Polygon might have seen it and had issue with something my sassy-ass mouth had to say. And I basically said something to the effect of, Mario Kart 8 sells 1.2 million in its first weekend, which is what Polygon predicted it would sell in its entire lifespan. Way to go, games analysts. Thumbs up emoji. And I got a little reply from a guy that works at Polygon. In fact, I think he's like kind of a high up mucky mup over there, Ben Kuchera, and he basically replied, should I bring up the conversation here? Because it was
sure.
Like
in public.
Like I say, my policy on analysts and why I don't really like to talk about analysts on the show. You can't spell analyst without anal. So if I'm going to be analyzing stuff, I'm going to do it my own way. I'm not going to quote some dude that's got See, at least this guy has a little bit of experience in the industry, not necessarily someone that just crunches numbers all day long.
So, all right, I'm trying to bring up the conversation I had. So here's the tweet that started off. I put, Mario Kart 8 sold in a weekend what Polygon predicted it would sell in a lifetime, right? Gotta love games analysts, thumbs up. And that got, by the way, 7 retweets and 10 favorites. So Ben Kuchera replies and says, it still needs to sell over 4 million more units, or nearly a 1-to-1 ratio with the tiny Wii U install base to prove the point. Everyone is happy the game is a hit, but it's a long ways from beating the second worst selling title in the series. At least try to understand what you're criticizing before you start the smack talk, P. And I'm like, it's going to be like, you're going to come at me like that? Back rolls. Okay. So
I'm going to start calling you Crazy Eyes, I hope you know.
My sassy mouth might have replied, because I was like, well, he was kind enough to let me know his thoughts, so maybe I should reply in kind. So I wrote back and I said, assuming Wii U install base doesn't grow significantly this holiday. Admittedly, it's an uphill climb, but I think what was overlooked in the original analysis was Wii U adopter makeup. It's small, yes, but fiercely Nintendo loyal. To say 20% here means 20% here didn't turn out to be accurate, but we will see when and if the install base grows. And that's when he wrote that tweet that said, at least know what you're, criticizing. And I wrote back and I said, here is what I'm criticizing. I realized the article's main point was lowest selling, and I put a little screen cap there of where they showed Mario Kart 8 Wii was going to sell 1.2 million units overall. And I said, in this internet ADD reading age, these pictures can truly wield many words. And then I said, for what it's worth, I think your site overall is typically better balanced. There's other sites that sensationalize way worse. I'd never give them attention by calling them out on Twitter, which is true. But, okay, Shane's desperate to say something on this. What do you want to say on this, Shane? All right. Yes, Shane, what?
I wanted to say first, I think Polygon has always been bad ever since they launched and gave themselves all that like media hype about look at the behind the scenes crap that we're doing.
Yeah, it was a little silly, but it was years ago, to be fair.
Yeah. But Bobby can't ban me from talking right now, so I would say Polygon is more sensationalist than Kotaku lately, and Kotaku's a lot more readable than Polygon has been in a while.
Interesting. All right. I don't know. I don't visit that website, and I don't know how much longer I'll visit the other if that continues to be the trend. I did not get a reply to my little retort, just saying. So little thing there. All right. Anyway, did you get all of your stories out, Loki?
No, I was also going to mention that Watch Dogs sold 4 million copies, so that did pretty well considering that it was slightly delayed from when they originally thought it would be out.
It's interesting because going back to the conversation we were having about exactly those same two games last weekend, you made the point that you see a lot more Mario Kart media than you've been seeing Watch Dogs media. Call it selective bias, and that may be the case, but
yeah, I think that's the case.
In the week and a half that we are now in for both of those games' release, I've seen a fair amount of trailers, a lot of online coordination, a lot of Twitter and other coordination to play games online, and a lot of stuff for Mario Kart. I have seen 3 Watchdog spoofs, one by Mega64, another... No, I've seen one. I'm actually... I think I'm confusing it for like a picture. Oh, no, there was somebody... there was somebody that I follow that has a game deconstruction talking channel on Blip. He might still be on YouTube. He was deconstructing that apparently one of the Watchdog missions is you have to kill someone in prison that knows who you are by avoiding the guards, except for the fact that the prisoner was scheduled to be executed anyways. Why not just let things run its course? So I was seeing a lot of deconstructions and spoofs about the content of Watchdogs. And there may be a third example in there. I don't remember what it is. But those two chiefly I can remember right now. And I see a lot of fun. Hey, this game is fun. Let's fucking play it. Coming out of Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's gaining a lot of steam. And look, I totally get the idea that, the game, if the Wii U doesn't get a bigger install base, then that game isn't going to sell more copies. Like, I totally get that because there isn't much of an install base for the Wii U. But I don't think it was fair to say because it sold 20% here, it's going to sell 20% here, because that's assuming that those people that bought the system are exact same proportional makeup of the people that bought the system over here. So that was my issue with that whole thing. Anyway. Moving on, let's talk about, speaking of Nintendo, I kind of referenced this briefly earlier in the show, but I'm sure a lot of you guys heard that Satoru Iwata is actually not going to be at E3 this next week. He will not be making the show, which, usually he'd be in behind closed doors meetings anyway, doing interviews. It'd be very hard to catch him out on the show floor, very rare. But his physician has actually advised him to not travel overseas. Now, this won't really have a big impact anyway, because, again, he was really only there for meetings and interviews anyway, and he can tape appearances in Japan for this Nintendo Direct thing that they're doing anyway, so it just kind of works out. But regardless, there's certainly that area of mystique of, he's sick enough to not be traveling overseas. Hopefully this is just one of those abundance of caution sort of things, and there isn't something really wrong, because that would be a real bummer to, hear that Iwata's sick or something.
Sick enough to not be a sardine for 14 hours is not necessarily very sick. You could have an ear infection, the flight would be fucking miserable, and you would skip it. Yeah.
So, again, hopefully this is just a move out of an abundance of caution. E3 can be really... it can really wear down your immune system and stuff, too. Just, the constant on-the-go stuff. So,
Con plague.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see why he'd want to stay home if the doctor tells him to. I'll probably get sick from the damn thing. I always do, but I'll take my vitamin C supplements just in case. Dark Sakura, what do you have for us?
I have some stuff. Actually, what I have is a system that doesn't want to help me today, but this is something really good, and this is something that affects us because we're going to be there, Rob.
We are.
We're going to Gamer X.
Woohoo!
And it looks like that there will be major game publishers who are showing some support. Well, major is kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I guess you're kind of major. But they are giving support to the convention. So is Ubisoft and NIS America. So they will be there for the second and last Gamer X. So I think that that's going to be good that we're seeing, I wish that we would have enough more support. I mean, because we have BioWare there, Indiecade, Cards Against Humanity, a bunch of others. I wish that we had enough to see enough support to go for another con. Mm-hmm. So
I hope they'll be convinced to do a third year. But we're going to go. We're going to have fun, and we'll party like it is the last one, and have a good. I had a great time last year. We're going to have a good time this year. There's going to be a panel. Panel's going to be happening Saturday at 2:00. Podcast Cross Zone returns for its second panel. We're going to do it a little differently this time. And Dark Sakura, you are offered a spot up on the panel if you'd like to speak.
I said yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you said yes or not, so I didn't want
to.
No,
I'm just totally not going to go, and I'm just going to sit in the back and heckle and throw shit.
Well, good. The good news is we made room for you on the panel, so you're going to be up there, and
I'll be there.
It'll be good, and we're going to have a lot of other guest speakers up there too, so it'll be fun. And then folks in the audience as well. So
we need to discuss cosplay, Rob.
Oh boy, I need to discuss losing 25 pounds. But yes.
No.
All right.
Oh, come on, Rob. If a guy who is a foot shorter than you and probably 3 times your weight can cosplay Sailor Moon, you can cosplay anything.
That's right.
If we can have Man-Faye, you can cosplay anything.
Well, that makes me feel better. All right, let's go over to Loki.
All right. So this is kind of goofy, but Devolver Digital is let's see, they're actually planning on localizing a pigeon dating sim.
Hatoful Boyfriend?
Yes, they are.
Oh my god, that game is the best.
They are localizing Hatoful Boyfriend.
Even though it's already been done.
They have a fantastic press release to go along with that, talking about, love is for the birds, the Nest hardcore pigeon dating sim for fans everywhere. Basically, they were talking about how there's what was it? A lot of games based on like first-person shooters and stuff, and they thought that the demographic of semi-realistic pigeon dating simulations are the next great frontier in video games. I love their humor. So, but yeah, they're going to be working on that. So it's going to be available, playable at E3 by appointment only, and it's going to launch during the summer on PC, Mac, via Steam, Good Old Games, Humble, and other digital storefronts.
Shit, we need to hit Devolver Digital as soon as we get into the LACC. Continuing on, games that will appear in America, will appear in general, despite the fact that the dating sim had been done previously, but is getting localized. Shovel Knight was kickstarted last year, a couple months, few more months than just last year. It was originally slated for just a $75,000. It originally wanted $75,000. It wound up with $300,000. The Yacht Club Games has confirmed by backer news release, which is public, so everybody sees it anyways, that the 8-bit inspired adventure game Shovel Knight will be here on June 26th. Get ready for the greatest 8-bit inspired adventure game to sweep you off your feet and deliver pure fun directly to your soul with shovels.
I'm looking forward to checking it out. It looks so cute.
Did you back it? I backed it. So
I did not back it.
I'm getting
but you know how I feel about
actually still have
Kickstarters.
yet to back a Kickstarter.
You know what? I have another Kickstarter game I just got. I haven't played it yet. That Among the Sleep. That's that one that's the horror game that's done from the perspective of a 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. So, gotta try that.
All right. Well, let's take this opportunity to get some listener feedback in a segment we do every week here where you guys can participate with the show by emailing us to our mailbag. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com is our email bag.
Yeah, do it.
And Dark Soccer is going to dive into the mailbag head first and find an email or 4 or 5.
I dipped a toe in.
You dipped a toe in?
There were only 2, so I dipped a toe in.
Just 2? All
and
right.
my toe has been freshly washed today.
Then 2 emails to read tonight on the show. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com if you want to send us your E3
My toes smell
thoughts.
of lemongrass. Hello again, OLR gang. I very much agree that Mario Kart 8 could be a tipping point for gamers to jump in on the Wii U. I've not purchased any of the next-gen consoles, mainly because of the we'll fuck you over less than the other guy mentality that Sony and Microsoft assumed initially. However, Nintendo is starting to build Game Steam with their newer releases, and they may be the winner of my next paycheck. That's funny. The specifics about the pod mentioned last week. Our show is called The Village Idiots. It can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, or at villagepodcast.buzzsprout.com.
Well, hello, Village Idiot Matt.
Oh,
Nice to make the connection.
There's the
now.
connection. That's the guy I felt bad last week because I'm all like, you could have given yourself a promotion. So he did email it back and give a promotion. That's great. Check it out.
We also host a show on the same RSS feed called Popcorn and Profanity, which is a film pod. All updates on our show can be found on our homepage, villageidiotspodcast.blogspot.com, or Twitter at villagepodcast. We should be getting more content up soon, but I am in the process of beginning a new job, nursing. Good. So forgive us if it takes a little time. You know what? Nursing is a little bit more important than podcasting. So,
slightly. Only a slight bit, though.
Nurse away. Gamers Unite. Thanks again and keep up the good work. Matt, Raging Janitor.
I like that name, Popcorn and Profanity, because that's definitely my living room when watching a movie.
And I'm actually going to go ahead and list locations since it's an email. Mm-hmm. It's Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
I think you were the first person from North Dakota I've ever conversed with in any form in my life.
There you go.
I'm serious.
All right.
Which is kind of sad. I want to go there someday.
Worldwide show.
Or, yeah.
There's listeners everywhere at Orange Lounge Radio, even North Dakota.
It proves that there are, now when we get Delaware, that'll be different. Or Iowa. We've had Iowa, haven't we?
We've had Iowa. I know.
Hi, Iowa people. Heart.
Shout out. Iowa.
I would like to find fellow people that live in Alabama and not,
You've already met some of those, though.
No, I was in Louisiana and in Florida, but I've only met like one person in Alabama, and I think he moved.
Oh.
One of the Florida people now is a coworker.
Okay. How funny.
At Locat, only as an at-home locatter.
Gotcha.
So
funny.
What's up, Orange Lounge guys and gal?
Thank you. Black Wolf reminding us the Rob D was in Iowa. I met him at Anime Central years ago.
I love the Rob D.
He's a nice boy. Where is he these days?
Gone.
He was a nice boy.
I do believe it was the Rob D who delivered. Is that who I got? No. I'm going to have to go back and recheck this.
Okay, but I will say this. He had the bomb radio voice. He had a great, like Jason does, he has a great radio voice. And he used to do that show on All Games about the history. It was like This Day in Gaming, T-Dig. That was it.
Okay.
It was a fun little show.
Well, may I continue with the last and second and only other email?
All right.
What's up, Orange Lounge guys and gal? Thank you for recognizing me. I feel like you guys are my Monday morning saviors. So much work to do on Mondays, and your gaming nonsense and news keep me smiling all day.
Oh, shucks.
We're a big oxymoron. 1, I would love an explanation on Jamie's crazy love of tacos. Never caught the history on that one. Plus, I have some recipes to share if she's interested. Okay, my taco thing is actually burrito love. Okay, I've
been lying to me all these years.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I really, really love tacos because when I finally after being in California for years and years, I finally got introduced to real tacos going to a little taqueria across the street from where I worked. And they're not folded. These are fucking good. They're loaded with yummies. Taco Tuesday. And that's where Taco Tuesday was born.
Which I still don't understand how we're supposed to answer the question. Like, what's so great about a taco? Have you had one? It's a taco.
It's slightly sweet corn tortilla with delicious meats of any variety you could think of. And the place that I would go to even had tongue tacos.
Ew.
Tongue is meat muscle. It's muscle. You shave the bumpy bits off it, it tastes like meat.
What is
I don't know when that happened. I was about to say something and out came a burp. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, listeners.
That's what happens when you have too many tacos.
No, that comes out the other end. But my true love. What?
You nasty.
So you got it wrong.
This show.
No, seriously, I just was about to open my mouth to retort something, which I forgot what my retort was. And
my retort was Choco Taco. That was my retort.
Choco Tacos are pretty damn good. But never, ever, ever put marshmallows on anything, ever. Anyway, my true love is burritos. Because burritos are especially carne asada with potato and cheese. Just like that. Or fish burrito. I love fish tacos too. Because I go that way. I love tacos, really. Tacos, you can hold them in. I discovered a new love, and I hate fast food, but oh my God, I love the crispy shrimp things from Del Taco.
I hope our emailer is happy with this turn of events here.
Tacos.
Because I literally can't even right now.
Tacos are life.
How can you deal with the four of us in this room then?
It's a job.
Because you literally can't even.
Weren't you going somewhere?
See, Ag Deft agrees with me. And SSJ 100 Matt agrees that carnitas are good too.
All right.
You know,
was there anything in the
I like it that I bring up shrimp and SSJ 100 Matt brings up carnitas. We're like the trafiest Jews that ever trafed.
Taco Lounge Radio live at VOG Network every Sunday night at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
I just I can't. 2. I'm a huge
Well, if you can, I already done can't. So
girl.
Get a new contraction.
Bitch, no. Hearts. 2. I'm a huge comic books collecting nerd, and I've taken plenty of crap for it. What were the things that you did or still do that people called you nerd for besides gaming? Comics. I had the entire run of like the 80s through 90s Wolverine all up until before I moved out here. Like from the mid 80s up through the late 90s, and then I gave them to some guy because I knew he'd like them and I couldn't take them with me.
This show.
And you did Rocky.
You think I'm kidding? We've had this show for like 12 years. This show has been on a long time, even before I was seeing Alan. And so I would go out on dates with guys and, so what do you do for fun? Well, I have a long running podcast on the internet about video games. Oh, cool. I don't play games. And then turns out
this way.
Turns out they do play games, just not video games, if you know what I mean.
I also LARPed in college the first time. My friend Ashley and I used to sit in study hall and create our own tabletop RPG, drawing maps and everything. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic.
Loki, is there something nerdy you still do that you get made fun for? I mean, your wife kind of teases you about everything, doesn't she?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
I had one other.
Oh, okay, what?
My friend Courtney and I would sit and quote the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies verbatim. Ever since we did this all the way through middle school.
That's pretty nerdy.
And then she went to a different high school than I did, but we did them for part of the sole reason because this other girl named Catherine, who lived around the corner from my house, and her mom and my mom were friends. She used to talk with her mouth full of food, and it was gross. So we just started quoting turtle movies. It was awesome. I still have those movies memorized, I swear.
All right, rest of the email.
Fuck. All right.
I was going to see if you could remember any of the movie, but then I realized this is really a road I don't want to go down.
Question. Do you like penicillin on your pizza?
Read the rest of the email.
You guys are freaking sweet. Keep the show coming. P.S. Thanks for playing my demo track last week while answering the question. I know you didn't have to. Muchas gracias.
And I'm not doing it for other people because I don't want to open the floodgates. You play my song, No.
DJ, play my song now.
He gets to do it. He gets to do it because he thought of it first. All right. Unless you want to do a new intro for us.
I'm not doing a redub of the turtle movies in my voice because I can't do the New Yorkie accent. Unless I did it like an old Jewish man.
You could be Splinter.
Imagine Splinter instead of having his, fake Kevin Clash Japanese accent. Sound like an old Hasidic man from
Mel
Crown
Brooks,
Heights.
basically.
No, of course.
All right. Is that it for emails?
That
would be
Chevy
yes.
Nova?
All right, there it is. That's it for the emails.
You get it?
Participate at orangeloungeradio.com is the place to send your emails. All right, I am closing up the Listless votes right after this segment. So if you haven't voted, log into the site right now and vote Listless, or you are screwed and you don't get to participate. So here it is, the FUs of the week time. Why? Because tradition?
Because fuck. Fuck you to Act Deft for sending me a picture of a chibi Deadpool riding a pig screaming tacos. I want.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
I want this shirt now. I want this shirt with every fiber of my being, because he also kind of looks like Gurr.
That's exactly Gurr. It's the whole thing. It's a, parody of Gurr writing because he did the thing where he yelled tacos.
I love tacos. But I'm going to correct the entire Deadpool fandom. So these are 2 fuck yous. Number 1, Deadpool's not a mutant. In the comics, Deadpool's not a mutant. Number 2, Deadpool actually does not like chimichangas. He just likes the word. That had been proven in an issue of Cable and Deadpool.
Well,
a woman comes
important.
by, he's saying chimichanga, and she's like, "What would you like for dinner?" Enchiladas. Because he doesn't actually like chimichangas. So, I know way too much about comics.
There were Deadpool cosplayers at Fanime. They were really good.
They should totally
There's
have
Deadpool cosplayers everywhere.
a 90s sitcom show called Cable and Deadpool.
Well, they were sort of like an old married couple, kind of. In the comic, it was pretty fun. They even made jokes about it. However, what I might do, I'm thinking about doing this, Rob, for the convention if I can't make another cosplay. I'm thinking about making a head pull. Do you know what head pull is?
No.
The undead head of Deadpool from another dimension.
This is a long FU segment.
FU to people who get their comic facts wrong.
All right, Jason, your FU of the week.
FU to California for having the bump strips on the inside of your lane and not on the line or over. It's just fucking annoying.
There's a lot of weird shit in this state, isn't there?
65-mile-an-hour speed limits on the highway. Oh, fuck.
I think some of them are also wake-up bumps.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be inside the lane.
You'll get to see 70 on the way to LA tomorrow.
I have already driven that once before.
Oh, okay.
Twice before. Possibly thrice before.
Oh, fine.
Tiger Claw, I am going
though.
to correct you then. A mutate is not someone who's been experimented on by using mutant DNA. A mutate is a person who has just been mutated post-birth.
9 o'clock, people. 9 o'clock.
Marvel Universe, go catch up.
And FU to 100-degree weather.
Loki.
Yeah, just F you to the weather. It's too fucking hot. I don't want to go outside.
My FU of the week goes to the migraine I had last night. That was killer. Oh my God, it was so awful. I was watching Orange is the New Black because that show is amazing. And like halfway through the second episode, I started getting this massive headache. And I think I might have just OD'd on meat. And the reason why I say that, get your minds out of the gutter. The reason why I say that, we went to this, Flacco Jones had a little birthday thing over the weekend, and we went to this Korean barbecue place. It's not far from where I live, and it's really good, but I ate a lot of meat, you guys, a lot, because you know, it's all you can eat, and you just put it on the grill. You grill it yourself, because I guess that's how it's cheap, and I ate a lot of meat. I think I gave myself a meat migraine.
FU to Rob for talking about a lot of food, because I have had no appetite for the last week.
Is it meat grain?
A meat grain, yes, it was.
I've never been to Korean barbecue.
You should go sometime.
Yes,
It was fun.
I've never been.
You guys, we'll have an OLR date. All right, let's. It's time to figure out who won Listless, you guys. It's over. It's done. We're wrapping it up here. Listless tonight. It's time to figure out what is the thing you are most looking forward to at E3 2014. It's time to reveal the definitive list. Here it is, your top 3 answers. Da-da-da-da. In a tie for third place, we have a tie for third place tonight. A tie for third place, Mighty Number 9, playable at E3. Woo! And an all-female game with 0 misogyny.
Woo!
Go you!
Go feminism!
All right. In second, well, feminism got third place tonight. Let's see what.
Hey, it's better than what we normally get.
Oh. I feel bad laughing at that, but that was actually a really good zinger, actually.
It's fucking true.
And it's sad, but all right. All right, here it is. Your number 2 answer, the definitive list. So again, number 3, Mighty Number 9, playable and all-female game with 0 misogyny ties. Number 2, Phantasy Star Online 2 is a Wii U exclusive.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Loki's,
even though it's already on PC.
Loki's rolling his eyes really far back in his head. What?
Whatever. I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right. And the number 1 answer tonight, Valve trolls Valve with a Portal 3 trailer.
That would be fantastic.
What? Number 1 and number 2. What? You listening, Bobby? I got number 1 and number 2 this year.
That would piss off so many people. It would be fantastic.
I think it would be hilarious, and I would actually rather another Portal than another Half-Life, but that's me. Because I actually liked Portal better than Half-Life.
If you guys don't believe me, it's right. I'm not making it up, guys. It's right there. There it is.
You.
All right.
I personally like Portal better than the rest of Half-Life.
Announce third sequels for all their other franchises except for Half-Life. Just everything else gets a third game. Fuck Half-Life.
I would have thought that President Cat 2 Prepare for Kitten Fall would have topped the list for sure, to be fair, Loki. It just fourth place. It just missed it.
That's all right.
I was a little surprised there. All right.
Technically fifth because there was a tie for third.
Oh, yeah.
FU to myself for signing myself up to putting Listless in the video because, god damn it, it's time consuming.
Sorry.
Oh, God, this is the worst week for that, too.
You have 15 answers. Have
shit.
fun. Good luck. All right.
Oh, no.
Masochist much?
Maybe I'll just skip it this week. All right. There it is. Let's do a couple more stories, then we're going to open up the phone lines quickly. We don't have a whole lot of time for calls because we're running a little long. We're past 9 o'clock already, so let's get to it. Loki.
All right, lots of apps are coming to the Xbox One and Xbox 360. Some of the new stuff that's going to be happening. Comedy Central's getting an app on Xbox One. Crunchyroll's coming to Xbox One in several territories. FX Now. Is that like an FX thing? That'd be pretty cool. MTV, K-Drama, Max Dome, MLG, Movieplex, iHeartRadio, HBO Go, which is pretty big, GoPro. I know Twitter's one of them that's supposed to be, you'd think that they would have had it by now, but Twitter's coming to Xbox One as well. TuneIn, Sci-Fi Now, Sky Online, Sky News.
FX Now should be live TV or on-demand TV for the FX network, right? Like what Archer is on, whatnot?
Thinking that would be pretty cool because I do need to catch up on some Archer, so that would be nice.
The only show I actually know that's on that network.
So yeah, lots of apps coming later this year. And if you haven't heard yet, the apps that did require the paywall, I believe that paywall is now gone. So they are available now if you have Xbox Live Silver. So you can watch Netflix without having to pay an extra fee.
All right. And last but not least tonight, I have a story about a particular franchise of interest to many of you, and that is the Metal Gear franchise. Note that I'm not talking about Metal Gear Solid. I'm talking old school Metal Gear. Now, this is pretty cool. Shane may have joked earlier in the show that Konami is going to formally announce that they're killing off Silent Hill at E3. But in real news, Konami actually gave the blessing to a team called the Outer Heaven team to do a full remake of Metal Gear, the 1987 action-adventure stealth game Metal Gear, for release on Steam. And they're saying it's going to be a full remake of the original game, new script, new models, the works. The theme compositions will be revamped with orchestral arrangements and the Metal Gear Solid 2 style electronic beats. This is from developer Ian Ratcliffe. This is really cool that Konami's kind of given this the blessing. They do say it's going to be based off the MSX version of Metal Gear. So for those of you guys,
so you mean the good one?
Yeah, the good one, basically. The NES one, you know what? I still have a lot of respect for it because like that's what we kind of grew up on. So anyway, more information to come soon. They are still looking for volunteers, including a cutscene animator, a cutscene artist in the style of Yoji Shinkawa or Ashley Wood, storyboard artist, sound effect artist, composer, and voiceover talent. So maybe I should audition to be the new voice of Snake. What do you guys think?
How well can you do Metal Gear?
Metal Gear. Was that good?
Wow. I don't know why I expected
Nailed it.
anything different from him.
Nailed it.
I'll send him my tape right away. All right, there it is. So good luck to those guys. Love it. All right, that is going to do it for the news tonight, but now it's your turn. 1-877-GAME-OLR or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. If you'd like to give us a call and talk about anything we've talked about tonight, maybe your own E3, what you're looking forward to in the future, or whatever it is. 1-877-GAME-OLR, username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, all one word. Dark Tetsuya in chat says, Rob Roberts is fabulous Snake. I feel like there should be sparkles that come out when that's said. All right. Oh, we do have some calls coming in, huh?
Oh, no. The truck have started to move.
Oh, no. The truck have started to move.
Oh, no.
No. The truck have started to move. Gasp. Let's get to the phones and take some calls. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Nemesis 47. How y'all doing today?
Nemesis 47. I haven't heard you in a while. How you doing?
I've been good. I've been good. Just been busy, just moving out and stuff like that. I also been working on my new job too, over at the local King Supers and stuff.
I'm pretty sure that moving is punishment for shoplifting in some countries, so I'm sorry to hear that. It's never a fun process.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I just moved with a buddy of mine. So yeah,
There you go. That'll be fun. Well, what's on your mind tonight, buddy?
I'm not nothing much. Just want to get my 2 cents about everything that's going on with E3 this week. I'm actually gonna I am hoping they also announced a new Hitman game.
A new Hitman game, possibly.
Because from what I've seen some months ago, that a picture that there actually are in the process of filming the new Hitman movie. So a Hitman game is probably a shoo-in or something for E3. And also heard a rumor that tomorrow is the new WWE 2K15 game is going to be revealed.
Does EA have the license to that? Because that would make sense if they have...
2K15 would be Take-Two.
2K15. Sorry about that.
WWE 2K15, yeah, that's from the people who make 2K Sports and all that.
Well,
so
yeah, it's coming out for sure. So
shows you how well I watch the sports titles. Sorry about that, but you're looking forward to it, huh?
Oh yeah. The one thing I'm hoping is actually more fresh and more. It's a little bit more. I'm hoping it's a little bit more fresher than having the previous game where they pretty much borrowed everything that they did for THQ and everything.
I see. Yeah, I was gonna ask you what would hopefully be on your wish list of how would it be different this year, because a lot of these games get slammed for being roster updates and so forth. So.
Well, obviously they are going to have roster updates. The I'm hearing is there's rumors going on that Goldberg and Sting's going to be in the game.
Oh, okay.
And the things I'm hoping they actually make the weapon animations more realistic. Like instead of the chairs automatically disappearing or having like 3 or 4 hits and it pretty much breaks, or have like very unrealistic tables, like they actually slide all over the goddamn place, all over the damn place. And I'm hoping they pretty much update the weapon systems and everything like that, and just pretty much make a better, much more better wrestling game experience and all that is all.
Dungeon Buster in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com talking about the new Hitman game, saying the new Hitman game is supposed to be more sandboxy and fix the problems from the previous one. Well,
I thought the last one was pretty sandboxy from the looks of it.
I actually liked the new Hitman game. I was actually fanboying out when I heard when I first played the game, and also I heard the old voice of 47, because originally they were gonna go with a different voice, but they decided to bring back the old 47 voice, so I was happy with that. And I actually love the game.
Yeah, I watched. It's not usually my type of thing, but I watched a friend play it, and it looked pretty cool. So I was like, "Oh,
it is.
It was all next gen at that time." Although now we're in a whole nother generation, so it would look amazing on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And let's see. What else was I gonna say? Did you guys see the new Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD remix trailer?
I did, if for nothing else than the last 20 seconds of basically nothing but subtitles saying Kingdom Hearts 3, don't forget. Like literally, like what was it, like 3 frames or something, like 3 still pictures that rotate super fast. You can't like see it at all. Just like talk about a tease.
All I did is I pretty much paused during the scenes, and they're pretty much scenes from Kingdom Hearts Triple D. The 3DS. But we'll probably see more about Kingdom Hearts 3 and everything. So yeah, and
I just want to say I definitely think it's still a little early to like I don't think the game is going to be like playable on the show floor or anything like that. Like I really don't think it's that far along. But I would love to see a better trailer, like a new little tease would be great. That and 15, but I don't know. Square has come out and said don't expect to see either one at E3, so we'll see.
I'm gonna probably say Tokyo Game Show more than likely.
Yeah, that's a very good thought. Is that these could be things that are being saved for Tokyo Game Show, because they kind of did say without saying they're holding on to it for another expo, which would Tokyo Game Show would be the highly likely candidate for that. So.
Yeah, and lastly, there's another big convention that's going to happen this weekend besides E3, obviously.
What's that?
Denver Comic Con. Over here in Denver. It's the 5th largest convention in the United States.
Which I have tickets for, which I am officially missing because it's next weekend.
I was going to say, that's in your backyard, and you're going to have to miss it.
Now, man, why did you
I bought tickets in March or something like that earlier this year before E3, before like the E3 plan at work had even really come up. I hate to say it, but for me, E3 is trumping Denver Comic Con in a heartbeat.
It's understandable. E3 is gonna be E3 is freaking amazing. I mean, for me, if I was invited to go between DCC and E3, I'd go with E3 too, because come on, that's a big show.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun at Denver Comic Con, though. I mean, come on.
Oh, totally, man, totally. We have, like, Peter Davison. We have Sylvester McCoy, the 5th and 7th Doctor.
He's
you mean David Tennant's father-in-law?
Yes.
And the guy with pigeon shit all over him. Sorry, I love both of them, so I bet I love making the parallels.
Originally Karen Gillan, Amy Pond was gonna be at the con this year, but she had to back out because of a movie commitment and stuff. So they didn't mention. But sorry about that. I tend to stutter a lot, guys.
That's okay.
They did mention that she might be coming next year, though.
Oh, that'd be cool. She owes you guys a makeup, and then that way Jason can be there, unless he goes to E3 next year, which we'll see. All right. Well, Nemesis, I enjoyed the call, enjoyed your predictions. Thanks so much for giving us a call, and have a lot of fun at the Denver Comic Con. And since we can't be there, say hey to everybody for us.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys. I'm happy on E3 this week. All right.
We will do. See you on e3.vognetwork.com.
All right, man. Peace.
Later. All right. I like hearing from callers we don't always hear from a lot. But I like the regulars too. Don't get me wrong. But it's always nice to hear from a not so familiar tone, just to know that I'm still listening.
I've had my tickets on the table, right in my front door. Right,
you didn't try to give them to
inside
somebody?
of my front door. I was thinking about that towards the end. I really should have.
Yeah.
But I was looking at them before this trip started because I've been out here. I've been away from home for pretty much the entire month of May. And I was just looking at it and I was like, damn, I could do it if I didn't have to drive all weekend and then some.
All right, well, I don't even have to give out the number again because it's lighting up. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
It's your local residential cosplay whore, Ranma.
Rama, just wouldn't be a show without you. What's on your mind, buddy?
Sailor Moon.
Oh, besides that.
So did you find me the little thing that I asked if you could find for me?
I could not find any in the dealer's room.
No Senketsu.
Hey, don't upset her during OLR. I'm just kidding. What's up, buddy? What's on your mind?
I can't help it if I fail the side mission. What am I supposed to do?
Make one. Out of life fibers.
Do over.
And then he can talk to me when I'm bored at work.
Well, what's on your mind, buddy?
Not too much. I kind of missed half the show because we were planning stuff out for our podcast this week and some other stuff. So
well, how dare you?
What?
How dare you? How very dare you? I'm
sorry. People called me. I gotta take calls. Evidently I'm an important person.
I was just gonna say I kind of felt sorry. I said this earlier in the show. I felt sorry for some of the VOG. I think I said this on Bobby's show. I feel sorry for some of the VOG programming on tomorrow and Tuesday because gaming really is going to dominate the conversation. And I know Voice Geeks Network is really about all things geek, but I was like, well, Rama might get out of it because he's a live show, so he can kind of adjust to whatever's going on with E3 and all that. So
that, and I have a game filter set up for the chat, so it's all anime all day, every day, so we're good.
There you go.
Few things. Went to Anime Next this past week. It was pretty fun. I met up with Critical Myth, so there is a picture of us actually crossing paths.
Oh, that's amazing.
Let's see. I did not make it over to the gaming room because it's over in another hotel, and it was too hot to walk across to the other side of the location. So, but I did hear there were some pretty good gaming over there, so we'll definitely uncover that. But here's something that was some interesting things, though. Most popular cosplay there was from the game Danganronpa, which is becoming the game, which is actually putting life into the Vita, because as we all know, the Vita doesn't sell.
No, sadly. I'm curious to see what Sony kind of does with that, if they do anything with that at E3. We'll find out in 24 hours.
Hopefully. Yeah. And evidently it seems in my areas, ever since the Luigi Death Stare came about, it's been kind of hard to find a Wii U.
Really? You know, I think I was seeing some sales numbers today, and it does look like Wii U outsold Xbox One for the past week. But I mean, again, you know, like it still didn't outsell PlayStation 4, so it's not not where it needs to be. But you know,
I don't expect that to happen. But you know, I just find all that pretty interesting and pretty cool because now I'm like, you know, may just have to get myself a Wii U just for that. And what's interesting is that as I'm running around as Dr. Luigi, people are asking me for my death stare, which was pretty cool.
I was gonna say, you know, now I don't want to sound like that guy, Rama, but you do cosplay as a black man as Luigi, so you know people are wondering, where's my angry black man Luigi?
You went there.
I live there. I bought a house there. Rama?
That's because I gave him permission, so it's okay.
That's right.
And before I get out of here,
wait, you didn't answer my question. It was a serious question. When am I going to get my angry Luigi? Are you going to do an angry Luigi cosplay at some point, or no? That
will happen. It'll happen when I end up doing the Mushroom Doctor, which is Luigi cross 10th Doctor. I've been asked to do that too. So.
That'll be fun. All right.
Green pinstripes?
Maybe the suspenders are sitting on my floor.
I remember that dapper hat you had. All right. You said one more thing.
Yeah. I was taking pictures, and I came across Death Stare Luigi, and I'm posting the picture in the chat room, and it's also on my Facebook page, facebook.com/IMDGeronimoS. You'll find it there. And it's interesting that Luigi is giving my friend the death stare, and the best part is that's my friend Mario. So as you can see, Luigi is giving the death stare to Mario.
I have a really bad feeling that this angry Luigi meme is going to get played out at cons real fast. You know, I take back my question. You probably shouldn't do angry Luigi.
No, but the best part is it was a Luigi, a Waluigi, and a Wario with go-karts running around, playing Riding Dirty all over the convention area, throwing stuff at each other. People ate it up.
All right. That's fun, though. It looks like you guys had fun there at the con. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, Rama, best of luck with your show on Tuesday. I'm sorry I won't be here to hear it, but that's what podcasts are for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take care, buddy. We'll see you soon.
You too. Take care, bro.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Squeeze in one more call if anybody wants to get in. 1-877-GAME-OLR or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, if you want to give us a call. I did see just a couple tweets come in here, so I want to get to those. I read one of them earlier in the show, but I saw like a couple stories. I'll also ask Loki real quick if there's any last-minute stories he wants to squeeze in here.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff. Notch has released a game called Cliff Horse. It's a game about riding horses on cliffs. It's kind of like playing Skyrim because the horses just kind of defy gravity and they ride on a cliff.
For anybody that doesn't get it from the outside, if you know the meme and seen the image, physics? I'm a horse, bitch.
Just a couple tweets that were sent to us here. There was a correction to last week's show from Piker Uno. I don't even remember why Downton Abbey came up on last week's show, but it did. And we said that it was on the BBC. And Piker Uno corrected.
PBS, you said.
It is on, well, in overseas.
BBC. It was on, wasn't Television 4?
It's on ITV.
ITV, that was it.
Piker Uno issuing the correction there, which I did retweet and say, well, sorry, but we're kind of busy on Sunday nights when it usually airs. So...
Except for the fact that it airs Sunday
I don't know when it airs. I don't know when it airs over there, but yeah. So,
but it has like my spirit grandmother,
Maggie Smith.
Heck yeah!
It airs on PBS Sunday nights.
Yes.
Oh, that's
sassy.
SJ100 Matt tweeting us the story about Xbox One controllers are now supported on PC. You must have missed that part of the show, SJ100 Matt, but yes, you can now use those on PC. And Act Deft sending us to an infamous meme. Speaking of leaks and announcements before E3, here's a preview of Valve's surprise conference and its characters singing on stage in Tomodachi Life. One can only dream. Any other last-minute stories, Loki?
The rumor is that the Nintendo digital event's going to be 30 minutes long.
That's it? Wow.
It's Nintendo. Isn't that all they need?
It's according to, I guess, the timetable that they have on Nico Video or whatever. It says 1 to about 1:30 is the...
That could be a placeholder. We don't really know. That seems short. But then again,
and
I mean...
it says, Smash Brothers Invitational, 8 to 10:30. So, I guess last year was pretty short too, but they could also pull a stupid like, hey, yeah, here's our digital thing, but we're going to have 3 more during the week. Woo!
Well, they could, but 30 minutes doesn't
they
seem
had
like
3
enough.
last year.
That's right,
3.
they did.
If they only have 1 and it's 30 minutes long, that's not a good sign.
I think it's a little early, though. I mean, this isn't an official source. No. It's probably a placeholder on somebody's schedule just because they had to put something.
And that is for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 o'clock in the evening for the Invitational. Wow.
Well, it's Japan time.
All right.
I cannot do the time.
Maybe it's Japanese-specific stuff. Is only like 30 minutes. Maybe. That's where this is shot. It's shot. All right. That's it. We're going to close up the Skype line because ain't nobody else calling in. So we are going to wrap up because you know what? I got an early day tomorrow. And it's going to be a big day for a lot of you guys.
You and me both.
Road trip buddies. Woo! It'll be
We also
fun.
have this cool game I just saw here. It's it's called Rollers of the Realm. It's a pinball RPG.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I've got to check that out. Is that on Steam?
PS4, Vita, and PC.
Get out. That sounds awesome.
This winter.
Nice. It sounds like, what was that game? Wizorb. Kind of like a pinball quest type game, yeah. All right. That is it. We are on our way out of here. We're going to close up shop. Have a great night, everybody. Let's thank you for your support, first off. Thank you very much for downloading our show and checking us out and supporting us every week, as you always do. 555 episodes long. That's 5s across the board. We'll be back to do it again next week with episode number 556. After E3, it's going to be very interesting to see how we all react to the news, and I want to know how you guys react to all the news going into E3. But have a great show. Those of you guys that are actually going to be there in person, I hope to see you around the show floor. Those of you guys that are playing the home game and watching at home, please participate with the site. We're there to help you out. So let's get the answers to your questions best we can. Let's go around and get everybody's final thoughts. Jason, I want to thank you as always for being here.
Of course.
Hope you had fun tonight. Do you have a final thought for us?
I don't want to wake up tomorrow, but I must because the week starts in pretty much about 5 hours.
You can sleep through like Stockton and Bakersfield and the really unremarkable places.
While I'm driving, that sounds scary.
I thought you were making me drive.
Take the 99, sleep through Fresno, stop at the Bravo Cheese Farm.
Well, we don't really want to stop.
Yeah, tell that to the lactose intolerant one.
Yeah.
No. You can find good
probably
lactose cheeses.
Stopping is probably more for the way back.
Bravo.
The way down,
you
we're on
have
a
to.
timetable.
You have to stop by the Bravo Cheese Farm and bring me sage cheese.
You know they're building a Bravo farm on 5 as well.
No way.
In Kettleman City or whatever that is.
You know that's still not going to make me take the 5 and smell the cow shit.
All right. Dar Sakura, since you have the mic, your final thought tonight.
I really didn't mean to take from Jason's time. Just Bravo Cheese Farm. Everyone look for the Deer Kitten commercial for Friskies on YouTube.
All right.
It's the cutest thing.
My final thought is OMG, busy week ahead, but I can't wait to do some networking and introduce more people to VOG. And last but not least, Loki, your final thought tonight.
Speaking of kittens, my son hung up. He had a cat calendar because he was really excited about having a calendar, and he had a cat calendar. Then he didn't give a shit about the calendar. He wanted the cat pictures all over his room. So now his room is covered in cat pictures. He's ready for the internet.
Your son's room is a meme.
And also, I would like to say that I finally finished my fucking calling script, and I think it's all done, and I had it working, and I finished converting all the objects over. So now I can start other things again.
Hooray.
Back to the game.
Back to the game. All right, guys, we're out of here because you know what? I got to go pack. See you next week.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or VOG Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.